That's killed it.
You made the decision to play Thiago. Klopp doesn't change the system. Since blue back left, you don't want to change from the 4-3-3. What's going on, people? Boom, 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 and we're in on the Tjjs show again. I'm with my usual cast, G, Roms, Ash. How you guys doing today, man?
All good, you?
Good day, man.
Madness today. As you can see, I'm in a different setup. The missus guys have decided to buy a kitten. So I've been evicted from my usual streaming spot, and now, I'm in the bedroom. But so apologies for the delay, guys. I'm on my African lateness today, so apologies. Please. Obviously,
don't put us all in that same category.
G,
you're the worst, bro.
What happened last week? This is
guys, how's everybody doing?
As you know,
back and forth with Top Res the last 24, 48 hours. But other than that, it's been great.
It's been crazy. I mean, I'm new to Twitter, so it's been mad to me. This has been a virgin experience for me, and it hasn't been a good one at that. But guys, we need to talk, don't we? We need to talk. I mean, after the events, Roms, of the last 24, 48 hours, to be fair, since the loss, since what felt like a loss, since the 2-2 draw, things have just turned sour. And I mean, result-wise,
the thing is,
result in the world.
On our part, we're not reactionary though, because we were saying these same things before the game. That when fans are saying it's ever since the draw, for us, it's not. It's not
100%. But guys, obviously, this is a massive topic, and I'm so grateful to have yourselves on the regular cast. But we've got some special guests, special guests for this stream, and I'd like to bring them on. And it is Jack from the Anfield Row TV. We've got Jamie Phillips, the GOAT himself. We've got Oda podcaster, from Rants on Klopps, and we got the Equalizer, Ish. How you guys doing, man?
Doing good, my man. Doing good.
Yes,
man. Good, man. Thank you so much for you guys.
Thank you for having me on, mate. Appreciate it.
And thanks for having, obviously, Jamie, Jack, having Owen, Ish as well. This is a great panel. As you can see, with 17 strong already in here. So please, as I've said on multiple occasions, the only thing we ask of you when you come on the show, and it's your ticket to entry, is just smash a like, please. If you could just smash a like, we'll send. It goes a long way to helping obviously the channel grow. It means that obviously the likes of G, Ash, Roms, myself, even the likes of Jack, Jamie, and Ish, we're all doing good things all on our different platforms. So please, if you can smash a like, that'd be great. Now, guys, I think the best place to start is. I'd like to put a question to everyone first. I know there's a lot of us, so if we can just summarize it as quick as possible, that would be great. But what does Liverpool mean to each and every one of us? And I want everyone in the comments to do the same thing as well, because I think that's the first thing that we need to address. What does Liverpool as the club, what does Liverpool as an entity mean individually to each one of us? Let's start with G, when we'll just literally go across G and then Roms and that way, man.
I would say passion, unity. Those are the two words that kind of stand out, especially when I was younger. I would say passion, unity. Like there was that kind of vibe. I was gonna say vibes, but I feel like that sounds bad, so I'll just say passion or unity.
Ash?
First of all, G always acts like he's doing some political speech, innit? Passion, unity, like going in. Do you know what? Liverpool's just everything. Since growing up, first football kit I had, first match I ever went to, my favourite ever play. Liverpool's it's just life. That's why it's hurting a little bit at the minute, but Liverpool is literally everything, man.
Jamie?
Life and death. It's everything. I've got my wife and my kids, and then it's Liverpool Football Club. Simple. That is it. Fuck everything else. That is it.
Definitely agree there, but
if you had to put those three in order, Jamie, which order you put in the middle?
Don't get him in trouble.
Which order you put in the middle?
Liverpool, kids, wife.
Someone's going to be off the stream early then.
Out with the
Ash,
family.
like,
You wanna
don't
be
do it.
sleeping on
Ash
the
is
sofa,
asking them
like,
uncomfortable questions, boy.
Yes, I am.
Mad.
Jack.
Family, mate. Liverpool is a city, and just a connection to. Been doing YouTube for a couple of years, but the connection, Liverpool's wide ranging from around the globe, and just seeing how much it means to everyone. We're all one big family, especially Liverpool as a club. It's, as the lads have said, togetherness, but mainly family. No one's left out, and if anyone is on, which we'll just speak about tonight, they're absolute muppets, which we'll discuss about them, but they're not worthy of our fan base. Everyone is welcome at Liverpool Football Club. And this notion that I've seen on Twitter as well, if you're not from Liverpool, we don't think that. We're such a welcoming city. Everyone is welcome, and we're all one big family. And Liverpool wouldn't be Liverpool if it wasn't for the global fan base that we have tonight. That we have today as well. So,
Roms.
It's literally echoing what Ash said. It's my life. It's all I know. That I've missed parties, I've missed motives, I've missed the whole lot for Liverpool Football Club. It's my life. It's all I know. That Ash said, first game, Liverpool, first kit, favorite player. It's all I know, and because all this stuff's happening, and we're not as successful as we should be. This is why I just feel down that most of the time, because my club, we're doing well, but we could be doing much better. So, but yeah, just to summarize, that's my life, man.
Oh,
I just think you'll never walk alone, man. Like, I had a choice. Like, I have a brother, and he's an Arsenal fan, and I chose this path. And it's like, I could have went with the norm, being a Londoner and whatnot. And I just feel like I've been to games. Like, the first game was I could have went to Arsenal. I went to Liverpool and Chelsea when I was younger. Supported Liverpool ever since then. Hated, and whatnot. My brother went the other way, and rivalry, but it's just family, man. Like I say, you'll never walk alone means something to me. And going to games and celebrating with strangers and connecting people across the world, and football just unites you, and nothing better than. I just can't see anything else. It's just everything, man. So much.
Ish. Last but not least.
Literally what I said, man. When people say you'll never walk alone, or I hear it, it's more than a song. Like, I don't know how to describe it. Obviously, you guys will understand it, but if I try and explain it to other people, like, it's more than a song. Like, those 4 words actually mean something. Like, if someone says they're a Liverpool fan, before I know anything else about them, like, yeah, you're cool. Like, we'll just it's just an instant vibe. Like, you're connected by that one thing where I know you love this club like as much as I do. Like, and you don't really get that. For me, I feel like our fan base is different as well. Or like, I used to think it was different. Like, I still do as well. But this week's kind of thrown up a few other things. But when people say they're Liverpool fans, I'm like, okay, you get it. You get that it's the club's not just about football. It's about being anti things that are not right in society, like standing up for stuff. Not many other clubs do that. Like, our club's actually built on that. So yeah, it's just, for me, it's bigger than football. Like, it might sound corny or whatever, but when I think of Liverpool, like, it's obviously what happens on the pitch affects me and stuff, but it's more like what the club stands for, which I'm proud to say I'm a Liverpool fan. I don't think other fan bases can say, like, I'm proud to be a United fan, a Chelsea fan, whatever. Like, there's actual pride when you're saying it. So yeah, man, like everyone else said, it's just everything. It's everything.
100%. Now, I'm gonna go to Jack.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Jay, come on, bro.
What are you saying? What are you saying, Joey?
What
are you saying?
Well, with myself, it means a lot. Now, obviously, I don't really chat to people about stuff like this, but for me, Liverpool is more than just following a football team and stuff. For me, it's a way for me to connect with my dad. Now, my dad passed away when I was younger, and my dad, from a very young age, was, the first thing I wore when I was born, like, came from the hospital, was I was in Liverpool jersey, and there's actually a picture of me, like, kicking a ball. So that's my connection with Liverpool, and that's why it means so much to me. I don't support Liverpool because I was born in Liverpool. I don't support Liverpool because, I made a choice. It was a choice given to me, but it's something that I still, there's a deeper connection than just, the players or this or that, because it's someone that means a lot to me. And certain things that I didn't get to go to games with my dad. I didn't get to watch Liverpool with my dad because he died, when I was quite young. But when I do these stuff, I do feel like, you know what, my dad's presence or my family's presence in that regard. So that's what it means to me. Now, Jack, I'm going to obviously focus on you because I know you got to head out, very quickly. And thank you so much for
I've got to, make the effort, mate. So I've got until 5 to. But
Yeah,
I
so
won't
yeah,
take not too long on the on my answers.
cool. But what I wanted to do at first, and I think this is what's really important, is that there's a common theme. Like when we've spoken about Liverpool, we're speaking about passion. That is our, do you know what I mean? That is our life. We're looking down here in the chats and we're seeing that Narrit, big up Narrit. He's saying, look, we are Liverpool. This means more. You've got Demo saying, look, red or dead. Do you know what I mean? We've got people saying this is our lives now. That's a common theme throughout any of us, and that links us. But what I'd like to know, and I'm speaking at, like, as devil's advocate, but maybe Jack, you can kind of address it because you're a Scouser yourself. What does Liverpool mean, or what does the establishment mean to Scousers, to Liverpudlians, to the people that actually live in Liverpool? Because going on Instagram, on Twitter Spaces, on social media, on these WhatsApp groups, or YouTube even, especially when you're in the space, you get a very minute, very loud few, and this is my belief, that go and voice their opinions. And like many have spoken about, they've gone and said, you know what, you're not from Liverpool. You're not one of us. I've got tweets. I'm not going to go into them, but even me, I've been attacked saying, oh, you know what? Why don't you go support this team instead? Because you guys are like this and you guys are like that. Now, I'd like to know from someone that's actually from Liverpool, what does it mean to you and why? And it's not to go and give a caveat as to why that behaviours exists, because it's poor in all regards, because Liverpool does mean more. But what does Liverpool mean as to why people are very, what's the word? They're very protective and overprotective of what Liverpool is, and very scared to let people in. Maybe we as people that don't live in Liverpool might be able to learn something more about that. I don't know if you can help us on that, Jack. And I know it's a big question to just throw
It's
on.
a big question.
And I know you don't speak for all Liverpool fans, but I think it's just go and get a perspective from someone like you that's also on the YouTube space as well.
Yeah, I can only speak from personal experience, mate, and obviously a lot of people go from different experiences than me, and especially a lot of stuff is very much amplified and quite wrongly in certain extents and social media at today's society we live in. But in terms of what Liverpool means to the city of Liverpool and just listen to your lads' introductions, you can just sense by the tone of how much Liverpool has touched you, and especially you, Jerry, from a young age with your dad as well. I had no other choice than supporting Liverpool. My dad went to all the away games. It was like, you're not living in this house if you don't support Liverpool. So
no chance of you being the blue, no?
No. I wouldn't have been living in there. Would have had a roof over my head. But in terms of it's similar with like Newcastle. I don't know if you lads have ever been to Newcastle or Newcastle fans. But I think Liverpool and Geordie is very similar in terms of how the football clubs, Everton included as well, in terms of both footballing cities. You live, breathe, go to work, wind up your mates. You have the odd mank or Arsenal fan or Chelsea fan within your colleagues, and it's you wake up, see what's happening in Liverpool, mate. But as obviously Ish said, in terms of a cultural sense as well, in terms of what it has stood up for in terms of the Conservatives as well. Certain periods, obviously with Hillsborough, in terms of the not even going to mention the news media outlets, but in terms of the narrative on social media from different sections, and even we had it after the Champions League final this year, that it's Scousers lying and all. But people buying into the same mantra that was getting banded around in the 70s and 80s, and even a fella from Sky, I've forgotten his name anyway, but just Cascale remarks, really. It's like someone from his experience, like you'd expect better, like from the peddling the lies. But yeah, it means Everton, mate, but never ever think these, and not necessarily, there will be people, but as I said, don't listen to them. Just try and not rise to them, because if you're ever coming down to Liverpool, I'd love to get a pint and the real Liverpool people, and we love you, every single one of you, the support. Even if you don't support Liverpool, we're just one footballing community as well, mate. But none of you are watching ever that if you feel like people speaking to you in a certain tone on social media, just tell them to F off, or like this they're not true. They don't deserve to be classing themselves as Liverpool fans if they're treating people with disrespect, really, mate.
Listen, that's a very
sorry for a long answer, but
it's a hefty answer, but it's a massive answer. And I mean, I'm just looking around and I'm even seeing G, just someone that's probably gone through a ruckers with these types of people, and even he just seems to have mellowed out. So I mean, you're really just addressing kind of the issue. And now I want to just pose it to anyone, and anyone can kind of go and say it. Playing devil's advocate, do you guys and people that are from London or from abroad, do you guys get why there might be a certain pocket of Liverpool fans that are maybe overprotective over what they call their club?
100%.
Yeah,
of course.
And why do you think that is?
Because it's years. It's like you've been through, like you said, you've been through so much like issues and things with the site, and there's so much like issue that you feel like very protective over something. And whenever someone's attacking anything you take pride and hold dear to your heart, you're gonna like attack that person or defend, then it go into defend mode. And I can understand sometimes where it comes from, but my biggest issue with this is we're all like podcasters, opinions. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. Like, unless someone is slagging off the club, like you'll say like, oh, we need to have a midfield, and they're like, mate, what do you know? And that's what it is. So it's like, my old whole thing is, why can't we have a conversation? Can't we jump on a show? We don't have a show, DM me, or let's have a conversation. Let's go back and forth. We don't need to argue over it. We both support the same club. We both want the same things, because nobody, to say that we don't want the club to be successful is everybody wants the club to be successful. It's what they see as success. Some people say, well, back in my time, or I know you didn't see this, you only started supporting us now, or this or whatnot. That's another conversation. But we all know we all need a midfielder or couple midfielder. We all know we ain't replaced in certain areas. We all know that, but we have this sense of like, no matter what, you never walk alone. We'll stick through it. It will come through, and then we kind of like, it gets a bit hazy on what everyone's level of success is. But I can understand when, if someone says to you, oh, Liverpool is not doing what I want them to do, they're like, mate, do you know like what Liverpool was doing 7 years ago or 10 years ago? We've proved so much. So it's like they have an argument to have, but it's the way you're having the argument is the problem for me more than anything. So like they say, like, you could say something like, oh, your breath smells, but you could be like, oh, mate, you pull your side. Oh, your breath smells a little bit funny. It's how you say stuff. And I feel like that's the issue we're getting. That's the issue we're getting now, is we're just getting attacked over your opinions. And Twitter is one of the biggest places for just your opinions, and it's just how they say stuff that kind of. And again, I do understand, but it's just opinions. We're all entitled to our opinions, and when you start picking out people because of where they're from, where their color, or and funny thing is, there's a lot of like Londoners, like we're global, like things that we praise the club for being globally like renowned and stuff like that. It's exactly what you're throwing at people, like to get them, and that's kind of why. And I take these things to heart a little bit, but I'm on to educate them. I want to have a conversation. If you can't have a conversation, I tend to just leave it. But I can understand.
Do you think, like, if we had this conversation with people face to face, it's a fact that it wouldn't go as far as it goes on social media because people are hiding behind the screens? But what I think is, we say it's a section of fans and they're gonna be top Reds no matter what. But do you think because it's not because of the way we look in some instances or the way we speak? Sometimes it's because they're so protective of the club when we come against anything that the club does. So, for example, now it might be transfers, it might be the way FSG are moving, whatever like that. Do you lot think that some people, that's what gets people's back up in a sense, and they can't accept any criticism of the club, and then the only way they kind of want to bite back is by getting personal?
I don't know, because like what I find a bit alarming sometimes, and it's not even, this isn't even about, first of all, when we say top Reds, we don't even mean Scousers specifically, because you can be a top Red anywhere. It's more.
I don't like that name though. I really hate that.
Yeah, because it sounds like it's just towards Scousers, but it's not. But my thing is like, what I find alarming sometimes is how quickly people are willing to get personal over just a disagreement over something it's not trivial, but in the grand scheme of life, it is a very trivial thing whether we need 2 midfielders, 1 midfielder, or none. So what I find always a bit crazy is how quickly people are willing to be like, oh, shut up, you're not from this or you're not that or whatever. But for me, it just doesn't make sense, because we're disagreeing about something that we both want the best. We both got the club's best interest at our heart.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I just don't understand. Is like, we all want Liverpool to win. We can disagree. Like me and Jerry or me and G disagree all the time, but I'll never my first thought will never be to get personal. That's what I find kind of wild. So that's what makes me think it's even not really about the club's best interest. They're just a group of people who are not really, they clearly don't know what Liverpool's about, and they're just willing to get personal really quickly based on other agendas. But I don't think it's for me. I don't think they probably care about the club less than we do if they're willing to get personal over something like that.
Yeah, do you think Liverpool fans
just engage in the argument?
Do you think Liverpool fans are worse because of the loyalty that they've got? Like, Liverpool fans are known for being loyal to the club. Like, we see it in other clubs, but I feel like it's a bit more prominent within Reds, within Liverpool fans. It gets more heated than I see across other clubs. Is that because of the loyalty of the club? Is it because,
that's just on Twitter,
is it because we're so diverse? Like, I don't know. I think
you go to a game and I get shown so much love. Like,
100%.
when you're at a game with them. So it's like Twitter's just. I think no matter what team you support, we're getting it because we are Liverpool fans and we're opinions and podcasters, and that's where they try and hit you because they can't win an argument because they're not trying to have a conversation. But when you go to Liverpool, just like what Jack said. When I went to games, I was always a bit cautious because I did get a lot of abuse. But when I went to games, I got shown so much love, and we're all celebrating, we're all one. So it's like it's crazy.
Just to add to that, whenever I've been to Anfield, it's just been unconditional love. I haven't had a bad thing to say about the locals, the people from Liverpool. Have always been shown love. So it's just a small minority on social media that I like this. When you're there, when you're at Anfield, it's just love. Everyone embraces you. I had a full-blown convo before a game once. That it's all love when you're.
You'll just be talking to people about the maddest things. Just like you don't even know. You don't even say hello to them. You just start talking about.
It doesn't even have to be at the game as well. Like, even when you're on holidays, when you go somewhere for a date, like you just spot Reds from a mile away, straight away, and you engage in conversation, and it just lasts forever. But like shadowing what Rom said, like games are so diverse. Like the diversity amongst Liverpool fans on game day, it's just madness. You've got
even the ladies' games. We go to the ladies' games regularly as well. So it's like the love is crazy. Like we go and do, we do a lot. We do film, we do all these content stuff for the ladies' games and academy and stuff. We go to the games and do these things as well. So I never have a bad thing to say other than when it's game day. It's a bit expensive for the trains if I don't want to drive.
That Euston train is mad.
All right, guys. Guys, I know Jack's got to head out because I know he's got another stream that he's going to go to. But Jack, again, appreciate so much for you like hopping on. Please, guys, check out the Anfield Road TV. It was formerly the Jack McIndoe TV.
So many changes.
But yeah, literally great content. On the road to 6K, I believe, right, Jack?
5K, mate. Yeah, I made up anyone even watches.
Yeah, on the way to 5. Guess what? We're going to get into 6. We're going to get into 6 anyway. Amazing content. Please check him out. I maybe potentially I'll be on his show tomorrow as well. So please, if someone in the chat could go and just plug him in there as well. Oh look, Ilyas has already done that.
Nice one, mate. Thank you very much for having me on, mate. And it's great to speak to the first time, couple of years as well. And as I said, boys, never think that you're never welcome in the Liverpool fan base because you are. Because you're always welcome in terms of, and the thing is, as Ash was saying, anyone, especially it's amplified in terms of social media, these people, they're hiding behind avies and you wouldn't even say it to your face in real life. You decked them in real life, wouldn't you? Like, just straight up to them or something. It's probably about like 5'2" or something, and then just give it.
What JJ said the other day, the scary thing is, people can use somebody else's picture on Twitter or whatever, and then automatically you've got that image in your head. That guy could be seen on the street. Do you know what I mean? And it could be a lot of aggro for that person. So we've got to be careful what we're doing, sharing other people's pictures and stuff like that, because it could get tasty.
It's a dangerous place, man. People don't understand like how dangerous it is.
Yeah. Right, boys. I'll let you go. Thank you very much, Jerry. And lads, have a lovely rest of your night.
You too, bro.
Yeah, like I said, thanks so much, Jack, as well, for hopping on, because I think it was great to get a scout. Now, I know, Jamie, you were quite a bit vocal on the Twitter yesterday as well. You had obviously stating you had never seen this type of like aggro and arguments between Liverpool fans. And I know you probably sat and probably thought about it in the evening. Why do you think that is? Do you think it's as easy as saying, oh, you know what? There's a group of fans, and we're going to get onto it, guys, as well. So everyone in the chat, I've seen it. Like, we're going to talk about the midfield kind of crisis. But do you think it's as easy as saying, oh, there's a group of Liverpool fans that want a midfielder and think that's going to win the league? There's a group of supporters that don't think we need a midfielder, and that we should look to like within the club for solutions, and that's where the divide is coming from? Or do you think there's something more to it?
I just think people. I don't know if people have too many sherries and go on Twitter or something. I'm not sure, but when look, I don't think there's a Liverpool fan alive that don't think we need a midfielder. But as I've said on my channel numerous times, if we don't buy one, you know, I'm over it. I'll just get on with the season. Is what it is. You know what I mean? But there's some people who just can't have that, and they just go on social media. The thing I've always said, I don't mind people's opinions. Everyone's got a different opinion in football. That's what's so great about the sport anyway. But if you've got an opinion, I like context behind that opinion. So when I ask you a question, you know, why are you saying this about your opinion? And you can't answer me in any kind of way, and you just start like you're saying like swearing at me or saying, "What do you mean? Why do we want me? Why are you asking me that?" So, well, what's your context behind it? Why are we doing this? And if you can't do that, then you're just writing things on social media to hang out in a certain club. You know what I mean? They want to hang out over there in the negative pile. I mean, I have people on my channel I disagree with all the time, like KZ for days and stuff like that. You know, I see him in the chat. He's a great guy. We don't agree on things, but he's a lovely guy and he comes on all the time. We have good discussions. But I like that. That's fine. I like that because he's actually having a discussion with me. And he's got context behind what he's saying. But a lot of people just don't. And I don't get what's going on. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, we broke our transfer record this summer. I mean, I just don't. I don't know what it is. I think people have had enough of the owners. Some people I know have had enough of Jurgen, which I find mad. Is there a problem between? Is there something in the middle that's separate? I don't know. Look, I think the owners are a lot better than people give them credit for, in my opinion. But I do think I'm going to say this right now, and this ain't me wanting Jurgen Klopp out, by the way. Before anyone goes mad and clips it, I don't want Jurgen Klopp out, right? But I do think because we are so loyal to Jurgen Klopp, yeah, I do think he gets away with quite a bit of criticism from us fans sometimes. Like we're scared to actually criticise Jurgen, and 100%. I don't know why that is. Because this is I think part of the argument on Twitter as well, especially. Like some people are just so like Jurgen can't do nothing wrong. He's the Messiah. We love him, and we do. We all do. So they won't criticise anything about Jurgen. It's all on the ownership. It's like the Jordan Henderson situation, yeah. Hendo gets more. I've never seen a player get so much ag in my life, right? He's not picking himself. Do you know what I mean? The man's not picking himself. He's not picking himself in the number 8. He's not going knocking on.
He's trying his best as well. He's not doing shit on purpose.
Yeah, he's not knocking on Jurgen's
He's not even doing that shit.
No, he's not. Nah. I mean, like on Saturday just gone, I said it in my review show, yeah? Saturday just gone, I said it in my review show. He was actually the best out of the 3 midfielders that started, right?
Well, they were all dead.
And they were shit. But what I'm getting at, he was crap on the day. He was crap on the day, but he was actually the best out of the 3, yeah? But all the hate goes on him straight away. But he doesn't knock on Jurgen's door and goes, right, you better play me this week. You know what? You better play me this week. And it's like, Jurgen, the thing with Jurgen's criticism, I will say, I think Jurgen don't have favourites, right? I don't believe in his favourite stuff. I really don't, right? You don't become a manager at the quality he is if you've got favourites and always sentimental bollocks. The man tried to leave Sacco and Alcatraz, for goodness sake. He hasn't got sentimental stuff. If he was sentimental, if Klopp was sentimental, Origi would play every week, right? Yeah. He's been trying to get rid of him for years, right? Yeah. He's not sentimental. He doesn't have favourites. What he does, he rates players more than we do. It's as simple as that. He rates Hendo more than any of us does, right? And the fact is, every manager Hendo's played for, apart from Brendan Rodgers, has rated him. So we can't. That's why I look at it. That's why I look at it as social media. I'm like, put context behind what you're saying. Come with a good argument. And I'll have an argument back with you. But I don't mind opinion as long as there's context.
You know what it is? The reason why I think we're split right now, and O hit the nail on the head when he was describing what Liverpool meant to him. I feel like with our fan base, everyone's idea of success is different. Like I put out a tweet yesterday, and it's getting quoted till now, like as we speak on the stream. I put out a tweet saying if we had the same season for the next 3 years as we had last season, fans would be calling it a success. And people came back and said, that means we'll be within 2 games of the big 2 and we would have 6 domestic trophies, and that's true. But we're so big of a club, and we claim we're this big club, we're the best club. We need to be winning the big two. And if you want to create dynasties and pure dominance, I'm not even saying win back to back, but I'm maybe saying every other year, maybe pick up a Prem, pick up a Champions League. Everyone's ideas, because I'm sure all of us in here wouldn't want last season for the next 3 years. We would have cups, but they're not the two we deserve for what we've been putting in. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I think the fan base is split right now. It's literally simple as that. Everyone's idea of success is different, because there's a lot of Reds. If we had, they answered my quote, if we had last season the next 3 years, they'll be happy with that. They've even said to me, we'll be happy with that. But like I said, to me, that's mad. That's crazy. But yeah, hit the nail on the head.
It's like the Jude Bellingham shit. It's like the Jude Bellingham.
I don't think they had context to what you said, because I read your tweet as I don't want to get close to almost winning the big ones for the next 3 years and then whatever. But everyone saw it as, oh my god,
I don't want to win at all.
Yeah, we played every game last season, and they're like, yeah, but we came out with.
I'll be so real. I did not want that feeling of losing the league on the last day and the Champions League final.
Exactly.
That was the worst, man.
Back to back. You know what the worst thing is? After the league, I was like, all right, cool. We're definitely going to go to Paris and just do the business. I was like, because Roman said to me from months ago, from like 6 months ago, he was like, we won't win the league, we'll win all 3 cups. So I was been hanging on to that. So I was like, cool.
Yeah.
We lost the league.
I truly believe that, Ish. Truly.
But I believe with my heart of hearts, I went to Paris myself. I was like, we're going there to collect the Champions League. Played so like below par, lost. I don't want that feeling again. I'd rather get bumped out in the groups this year if it means going to the final,
how we lost
being so convinced we're going to win and then not winning. I don't want that again. No, like definitely not. The cups are great.
And then, like Rom said, it's how they manage success. They see us winning, like being in it. You know that you got to be in it to win it, rather than actually picking up the domestic cups, like the ones you won over. Like, that's successful. I don't want that. It should be with Liverpool. We should be doing that.
Big up Jerry as well, because I keep saying, when Jerry, what did I keep saying to you? I kept saying, oh, Jerry, that I'm going into the season with no expectations so I don't get hurt. Like, I can't take it for my sanity. I can't take it again. And Jerry said, Roms, look at the club he's for. Look how big we are. We shouldn't have to feel like that. And he hit the nail on the head. Because it took us so long to land that league title, the minute we get it, it's that we can't criticize Klopp. We can't criticize Klopp. It's done now. We don't have to win another one for ages. But it's that once you win, don't you want to maintain? Don't you want to keep repeating that feeling? And that's why I think it's crazy when fans are coming for us. If they actually step back and look at the bigger picture, we all want the same thing. We want success. That's why it's absurd when these fans are getting us. I just don't get it.
Yeah, with Klopp and with Klopp as well. Look, I've said this many times. Klopp likes the way FSG run the business. It's as simple as that. He loves the way FSG run the business.
Match made in heaven.
If Klopp went to run a business, it'd be very FSG-like. You only have to listen to Klopp talk when he ain't even talking about football. You know, the way he talks about normal life, and, you know, when like in the middle of the pandemic and all that, the way he was like talking about, you know, the prick who was in charge of the country at the time, and everything going around it and all that. He spoke, you know, he spoke with so much more passion than any other politician in this country. You know, and I don't look. I've always said, Klopp looks at football, I think, a lot different to, say, a Pep Guardiola does. Yeah, Pep goes home and he thinks about football as soon as he goes home. He gets the chessboard out and he starts doing football tactics on it, I'm telling you. Klopp goes home, cracks a beer open and watches Tjjs. You know what I mean? Or something like that. He just don't, you know, we lost the Champions League final. We lost the Champions League final and he went to the pub and had a sing-song. That's not Pep.
He's the fans. Yeah. That was sick. That's why we love him, though. I'm not being funny.
Exactly.
You know, if I saw Klopp in a pub, me and Klopp have the sickest night. We'll have the sickest
night. That's why we do.
I'm not
too
sure.
Do you know what? We got to get criticised. That's why I think he does get away a bit. Because if you look at all the top elite teams in world football, right, and the managers they sack, would Klopp survive at any other club at times?
No.
And I've
actually, was at Chelsea, he'd be gone by now.
And the thing is,
Madrid.
And the thing is, I've said multiple times as well. I think the parade after the loss in the Champions League spoke volumes, because Klopp said this is what football's about. Yeah, so he didn't speak about, you know what, and Mourinho's done it in the past when he's lost, or Pep's done it when he's lost. They said next year we're coming for it and we're winning it. And that was the motif that was being spewed from the club. We're looking even here, like Jamrock, big up Jamrock here. He's saying, look, I want to be at a club like what the official Real Madrid Football Club Twitter account stated. We don't just make finals, we win finals. That's the mentality they go in. Don't you remember after the semi-final, they already had the T-shirt saying number 14's on its way.
Yeah.
Before they had even played the final. And I think what's happened is that Klopp, because of what he's given Liverpool, and he's given the belief back and the feeling that your Bob Paisley's and Bill Shankly's gave, that type of, you know what, we're in this together, we're in this battle, it's us against everyone else. It means that he gets so much more of a levy, and he's able to go and say, you know what, it doesn't matter if we don't win. It's about the journey. It doesn't really matter about all the memories we've created, and that's what's pushed out by the club. This means more. Winning, it means more. It's not just winning, it means more. And I think that's where maybe the divide's coming from, because you've got a lot of the fan base that are, and I've spoken about it before, it's like the girl that's been abused by every guy and been hit in every relationship she's been in. And she gets into a new one, but this one doesn't abuse her as much. So the expectations now of what success is completely different. If we look at Liverpool, we didn't win the league for so long. We had gone through Hodgson, even Dalglish, where it was just really, really, really bad. You know what I mean? Even Houllier, yeah, we did okay. Rafa Benitez, we did okay, but we weren't able to win the league 30 plus years. And then you get to a point where you win it now, and it's like, oh my God, that's enough now. That's enough. Like, I waited 30 years now. So if I wait another 20 years, that's okay, because it's not 30. You get where I'm coming from?
Yeah. Jerry, can I go back to what Jamie said before and what Rom's touched on about Klopp and being loyal? I agree to an extent that Klopp isn't a loyal person. He doesn't play people based on loyalty. But do you believe that Klopp likes to choose the underdog player more than he likes to choose a player that everybody wants to see? So, for example, he'll force Naby Keita in big games because he wants to turn around and say, I got Naby playing. He wants to force Elliott in there instead of Carvalho now, I feel, because he wants to go, do you know what? I brought Harvey Elliott up. And this is why I think Henderson plays a lot of games. This is why we see Bobby Firmino now starting over Núñez last game. I think what Klopp likes to do is say, I got the best out of a player, rather than saying, I did the best with the team.
You can tell by the way he talks as well. Even when Virgil got injured, he was like, "Oh, we'll wait for them, like a wife that's lost her husband in the war." Like, he tries to make things like, I love. To be fair, Klopp sees the world differently from any other manager, and to an extent, that's why I love him. That's why to me he's like more than a manager. That is why we love him. Like, we all say Klopp's like a dad to us, but at the same time, that's what makes it hurt so much when he does things where it's like, I don't want to have to criticize you. It's not like a normal manager. I can just be like, oh, his tactics are shit. Oh, he's made a bad decision. Like, it actually upsets me to have to get onto Klopp or to have to say stuff about him that I don't really want to have to say, because he's done that much for us. But at the same time, we all said at the beginning of the show, like, what Liverpool means to us. It's not about Klopp. You can't tell me that Klopp means more than Liverpool. Like, if he does something that's detrimental to the club, I have to call it out. I can't just sit back and let it happen because it's Klopp. Like, you have to separate the two things. You separate the manager from the club.
What it is though, Ash, and I'll throw that back at everyone in the chat though, and everyone in this commenting as well. So big up. We're going to run through the comments after this one as well. But if we're looking at Klopp and saying this is why we love Klopp, the fact that he goes and uses these metaphors, talking about, when Virgil's injured, we're going to wait for him like a woman waits for her husband, in World War II, or the fact that you're saying you're going to crack open the beer and after the game he's not meticulous in terms of how am I going to win, like a Pep. Can we then blame when we're sitting around saying we want a midfielder, no, we want that one, get Jude Bellingham now, when he's looking at it and like, what are you talking about? We got Elliott and Jones, we've got Henderson, we've got Milner. We've got Elliott. He can play there. Can we then look at Klopp like that and have that type of? Do I speak about him as a father figure and then expect him to be more like a businessman? That relationship we can't have our cake and eat it. You have to.
Do you know what the problem is?
Oh yeah, I hear that,
Jerry. Like, the relationship, we're saying like match made in heaven, Klopp and FSG, and match made in heaven is Klopp and Liverpool fans, because no other fans in the world love a manager more than they love the players on the field. Liverpool are synonymous with falling in love with managers. So no matter what Klopp does now, if the players let us down on the field, it's the players. Like, we never look at Klopp because we love him so much for bringing us back up. We're the same with every manager that we've had before. Whereas Chelsea, it's like, look what Mourinho did for Chelsea, and they were straight away, we want to keep Hazard, we're behind Drogba, we love Abramovich more, and he was out the door straight away.
Chelsea.
Yeah,
Chelsea.
Chelsea.
They're Koulibaly ones even. They're Koulibaly ones even more funny, isn't it? They're terrible. But no, you're right. You're right, Ash. I think they're exactly right. That's what's different about Klopp, though, isn't it? That's what's different about it. That's why we love him, ain't it? It's because he's like one of us. He's like your mate. He's like one of us. He thinks like we do. You know, he likes a beer. He probably likes a curry. You know, he's just he's one of us, ain't he? You know, that's why we love him. But as I keep saying, he sees football different to a lot of elite managers in club football. He sees football different to Conte. He sees different. Now, Conte and Pep are just obsessed with football, like absolutely obsessed. You know, and Klopp ain't. I think Klopp and everyone goes on about we're ruining Klopp's legacy. I love this one on Twitter. We're ruining Klopp's legacy. Klopp doesn't give a shit about his own legacy. Have you asked him? Does Klopp sit there and think, fuck me, FSG are ruining my legacy? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? No, he doesn't. He don't give a shit. He doesn't give a shit about a legacy. When he retires, that man's going to the Maldives and never coming back. He talks about holidays. He wants to go on holiday for a year and stuff. He don't care about legacy. He cares about enjoying it. And if he ain't enjoying it, he's leaving. It's simple as that. And that's why he's still at Liverpool, because he loves the city. He loves the people. He loves the club. And I do think he gets a kick out of competing with City without their financial muscle. I do think he gets a kick out of that. And when you listen to Klopp, if you've read Pep Linder's book, it says it all. Klopp is there to compete, not to win.
I mean,
that kills. That's what I was going to say.
Whenever I'm watching us train, it's more like Pep's more intrigued. He's more involved. He's taking the sessions. Klopp's kind of just in the background overseeing things. Yeah. Pep,
arms behind his back.
He's sitting there playing. He's sitting there playing Snake on his old Nokia. He ain't updated it.
Even before games, I see why he does it, but he'll just be watching the other team for like 10, 20 minutes just to see what they do. And I get that, but it's like, focus on your players, you know what I mean? And Jamie, I feel like you're spot on that. He loves, I'm not going to spoil it. I don't know if you have watched the latest episodes of All or Nothing. Like O said, I've got a brother that's a Gooner, so they're another other club that's in my household all the time. But there's a bit where Arteta speaks about the journey and the destination, and I'm not going to mention who, but one idiot says the destination. But with Klopp, I feel like as a manager, you should care about both. I'm not saying to care about one or the other, but it's almost like Klopp only cares about the journey and not destination. But yeah, and it goes back to that old saying: "There's no one man bigger than the club." So if Klopp gets things wrong, I don't know why a lot of our families are scared to call him out. Yeah. No one person, whether you're Gerrard, whether you're Dalglish, whether you're Klopp, no one is bigger than our club.
You know what? On that one, before I've got a good question. I'm gonna pose it to everyone in the chat. It's a bit controversial as well, so it will be interesting to hear you guys' points. But G, do you want to run through some of the comments?
Yeah, there's some funny comments in this chat. Oh my lord.
Yeah, it's run through a couple, man. Big up everyone in the chat. I know that we're on about 28 likes at the moment, so please, if you can get that up to 30 as soon as possible, that would be amazing, guys. Listen, appreciate everyone tuning in. I know there's a lot of streams going on at this time right now, so the fact we've got 30 of us, do you know what I mean, tuning in, listen, thank you so much. Yeah, go on, G.
No, I just saw this one from Quadruple FC. Klopp is a politician in media circles. Believe me, that man is obsessed with football. You can't have these 90-point seasons, Champions League finals, take minds to Europe and back-to-back Bundesligas. I semi-agree with that, Quadruple. I kind of semi-agree with that. I feel he is a little bit obsessed, but at the same time, I do agree with Jamie as well that he's obsessed to a level. And then when he gets to that level, it's kind of like, we're good. We're kind of like good money kind of thing. So it's listening to everybody talk about Klopp is funny. I can't even lie. Even just hearing that quote just sums up Klopp. Like, if I'm Conte and Pep, I'm obsessed. I'm like that. So for me to hear that from my manager, that kind of worries me. that makes me think, yeah, we're not really aligned in the way we think about the club and how we want to move forward and what we see as like a success. Do you know what I mean? If I'm hearing that, you know, he cares more about like competing than the winning, and he gets more of a kick out of it, be an assistant. Let me get Pep and let him be the guy, and then you can be the assistant to that, and you know, it will work that way. You know, that doesn't sit well with me. I'll be honest, it just doesn't really sit well. I don't really like hearing that.
G, do you think at any other club, and I've just seen a comment and you'll pop it up later, but do you think any other club, elite club, lets the assistant coach parade this book that they've just done around, like giving away little things that have been like that? Doesn't happen at Man City, I don't think. Like Arteta's not bringing a book out under. That's it. This is it. This is exactly it, man.
Arteta's book is a pop-up book, ain't it? Like you open it and a pirate ship comes up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Confetti pops out.
With a little with a Lego like figurine as well.
Yeah. Runs up with it.
But no, I agree. Yeah, no, like I don't even know who Pep Guardiola's assistant manager is. I don't know who Conte's assistant manager is. I don't know who Arteta's assistant manager is. Like, you know, Pep does seem to talk a lot. I mean, it seems like
a bit too much for me. I'm being honest.
Yeah, oh yeah, of course, a bit too much. A bit, but you know what? You could tell though when he got to manage the team when we faced Chelsea last season, I could tell he was in his element. He was in his zone. He was like, all right, this is my time. I'm going to show everybody.
I can get used to this.
But you know what? It's funny you say that because that's when I realized I don't think he's the guy in it. Because the way we fumbled that 2-0 lead, brother, like I was speaking, listen, probably looking at him like, I don't think that's happening. Yeah. It was looking mad. It was, bro, I'm seeing Milnerson and Fab. No. And
I think
not yet.
We'll get used to it because he's got to be manager after Jurgen Klopp. That's what he's been built for.
I think the same thing too, because the reality
it's just like it's the easy option. Let's be real, it's the easy option, isn't it? Like just get the guy who's been in, gets the club. Most importantly, gets FSG. Like Pep's not going to be doing madness like a Jose or Conte saying I need more money to the press and that. It'll just be a nice smooth transition. And then what they're probably hoping is that Stevie G does the business at Villa. Cool. Pep Linders does a 4 or 5 years, get Stevie G in, and we just keep it moving like that. But yeah, Gerrard's not looking too ready right now, if I'm being honest. But that's a whole other discussion.
Uncooked.
I'm hearing he's got the same win rate as Gary Neville at Valencia. When I heard that, I was like, yeah,
I heard that the other day as well.
I don't know about you lot, but I don't really want him ever to manage our club. I'm not gonna lie. I don't really care about that romance story. I don't want to see him at all. I'm not gonna lie.
Because I don't want to be running them out like Ollie, like they don't have Ollie or Lampard. That's my goat. Like it's not like he's not any player. He's the reason I'm
them few words with him. He could lose 10 games in a row. I'm not saying them too.
Yeah, I'm just stay as long as you want, innit?
But it's just crazy, man. It's just when we're sitting here, we're talking about like Klopp and. Listen, I think I like Klopp a lot, and I think what he did bring, which was the main thing, something that we didn't have, it was belief. You got to realize we had no belief whatsoever when he came and picked us up off the floor. Like it was at that kind of moment. We were even after going so close to winning a league, you could just tell the following season we just looked like what we probably should have been that season that we almost won the league. To be honest with you, so when he's taken us from that position to the top of the mountain, I think it just crushes fans more when you see that. And it's not just him. It's a bit of the owners and him, but at the same time, both together collectively, when you see that they're not really doing as much, and it doesn't have to be a midfielder. Like this conversation about midfielder. Remember, that's not the only position that we need. Like there are other positions that we need to sort out as well. Like it isn't just midfield. Midfield just seems to be, because we have the most injuries there, etc., that's the place that everybody wants to sort out.
Where was
that right wing to compete?
So that right wing is crazy.
Do you think we're a bit too harsh though at the same time, in a little way? Because we have won. He has won everything, right? Klopp has won everything. Yes, it's not multiple times, but he has won everything. Now, we are not entitled to win the Premier League every season. Yeah, we do have an exceptional Man City team with probably the greatest coach of his generation in charge of it. You know, if he needs a player, he's getting a player. You know, it's not an issue. They can have players on the bench that are on 250, 300 grand a week. You know, it's just, It's unheard of, right? So, and you got this amazing Real Madrid team in Europe that are just, Europe is theirs. Let's face it. It's what is it, 15, 14 now, whatever it is. It's mad. Europe is theirs. So, are we a little harsh at the same time? Because I can guarantee you right now, if Jurgen Klopp is listening to all these things, yeah, he will say that exact thing. He'll be like, I've won everything. I've got this Man City team in front of me that is, on another planet. They're probably their best team in world football, with the best manager in the world, with unlimited resources. And when he looks around at all the other coaches behind him, he literally is the only one competing with them. Mm-hmm. Now, we're not beating them, and I don't want to finish second, right? But we don't have an entitlement to finish first. There ain't no entitlement. So sometimes I think we might be a little bit too harsh on the whole thing.
Do you know what it is, though, Jamie? Do you think as a club we're doing everything we can to be the very best? Because I'm going to risk
I would then say Barcelona to you, right?
No, I hear that.
Because Barcelona tried to compete with Real Madrid, yeah? Barcelona was competing with Real Madrid so much, right? No one looks at Barcelona, even when they were winning their more league titles than Real Madrid, yeah? Everyone still looks at Real Madrid because they've won all the European Cups. They're still the eye candy, yeah? They're still top dogs in Europe, right? No one can touch them. Barcelona generate more money than Liverpool do over the last 10 years, right? They've got 100,000 seat stadium, massive name, massive product. They've generated far more money than Liverpool over the last 10 years, yeah? But look at the situation they're in themselves now because they're trying to compete at a level and chase a certain team in their league and in Europe that they're trying to be top dogs at. Liverpool can't chase City like that.
We're not asking the FSG to go and buy like all the players Barcelona bring and pay them $400 a week. For me, it's not even about.
A lot of fans are. That's
I don't know. For me, what's the most annoying thing is that I can see how close we are in it. I'm not saying we buy midfielder.
Yeah, we're like,
but I'm saying arm yourself properly to go and do this. If you're going to do it and you're going to put all your eggs into this basket to play a 63 game season, do the very best you can do.
What do they count it as though? That's the difference.
I feel like everyone in here will agree. If we were doing everything possible to get over the line and compete, I think we'll all shut up. We'll all be mute. I know I definitely would. I'll have nothing to say because I'll be seeing my club doing everything possible to get over the line. But when you feel you're not, questions will be asked, and that's for me. That's exactly what it is.
Roms, do you know what it?
Go on, sorry, Ash.
Sorry, do you know what it is though? All the other clubs who are 6th, 8th, whatever, no, they're asking for money to be spent. When we were in that position, we were grateful for everything we could get. We enjoyed going on cup runs. We never asked to be backed in the transfer markets. We never once said, get Kenny out, get Rodgers out, get Hodgson out. We never said that as a fan base. So no, I think if it wasn't so close to Man City, we'd still be the same. If we weren't so close to Man City, I think we'd be like, do you know what? Let's see if we can get European football going a cup run again. But because we're so close and because City is so good, if we just got that little bit of extra artillery behind us, we'd be like, do you know what? We've got everything we need to try and do it. And if it doesn't happen...
It's not just the signings as well. Just quick. It's not just the sign. It's more the players that we've got in the squad. I'm looking at our squad sometimes. I'm like, it's so stale. Like, it's so stale. I'm just like, if the club just did a bit more to just kind of keep things refreshed, I'd be cool with that. But
I look at
signings.
I look at squad and squad, yeah, Liverpool and City, yeah, squad for squad, right? So we're talking about to compete to like. So look at squad for squad, goalkeeper versus goalkeeper. Yeah, Alisson's better than Ederson. Yeah, right. Our first team back four against their first team back four. Is there even much? Is there even much in it?
I think ours is way better.
Ours is way better.
Better. Our actual forward line with City's forward line, right? Now, this is where the thing gets skewed, right? City use a lot of midfielders in their forward line who ain't actually forwards, right? Foden's a midfielder. Grealish is more of a midfielder than a forward, right? Their forwards are literally Haaland and Alvarez, right?
And
Mahrez. That is their forward line. Then Liverpool got, Salah, Diaz, Darwin, Núñez, Bobby.
Number 20.
No, you got and Jota, and Jota. So you got.
We're forgetting about Jota,
it. If you compare our squads, I love Jota. If you compare our squads,
that's what I do now as well.
So if you compare City and Liverpool, if you compare Liverpool and City squads like that, What's the only gaping hole?
Midfield.
The
Exactly.
midfield. But what?
Jamie, what
but
won
what
them
is
the
Man
league last
City's
season?
midfield? Yeah, but what is Man City's midfield? It's the most elite midfield in Europe, right? And this is what bugs me about people on Twitter as well, right? They go, our midfield's dead. It's finished. Hendo, dead. Thiago, life support. Fabinho, Fabinho's got zero mobility and there is an issue there and no one's talking about it, right?
Listen, I want him.
No, big up saying said it weeks ago, months ago.
Harvey Elliott is going to be a good little footballer, but he's young still. Curtis Jones gets too much abuse and I don't understand why.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And
Ash's happy about that one. Ash is loving that one.
so, and then everyone goes to me, right? So they say all that's dead, yeah, finished, right? And then they go on Twitter, if we just get one midfielder in, we're competing with City. But then I'll go, well, that means you rate all the midfielders that you just call dead, because as one midfielder going to make a difference. In theory, if you want to compete with City's midfield, you need 4. Simple as that.
I want
So-
2. 4's a
Jamie,
I'll start doing cartwheels, bro.
listen, facts. But I know you got to shoot off in a second. Is there anything you want to say before we let you out?
Nah, I just went. Nah, you know what? It's all points, man. I just feel like we're in a point now where I agree we need some midfielders. I feel like one of the things that gets us a bit upset is the fact that Fab was a great signing. Like nobody knew it, but we're not connected. And you hear we're connected to this, but that there's no effort. There's no. Not saying that nothing's not going on behind the scenes, but just to see us connected or see some intent. When you think about when we lost because having the same issue we had at centre back that we're having now in the midfield, and I feel like the way they handled that, you would love to see that we've learnt a little bit from that and would have tried to do something very early. And that's kind of the thing where I'm just like you said earlier in the start of this, don't get me wrong, when the transfer window's done, I'm going to back my team regardless. I'm going to be very upset we haven't if there's more injuries and whatnot. And if we can all see that there's midfield issues, I'm sure Klopp can see it. I'm sure FSG can see it. You can still do loans. I'm old school. I'll take a loan. I'll take just body.
No, I'll take anything right now.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like that's the big thing. It's like we know there's a problem. We know there's a problem, and you didn't really learn when we lost all the centre backs. I was like, okay, we lost 1. Okay, we lost 2. Okay, we lost 1. I think Jay was saying
It's
this
the
on
same
space.
thing.
I think I stole that from Jay, to be fair.
Yeah.
or State. I mean, I stole that from one of them, but I remember hearing something similar, and that's kind of the issue I have. Like, you ain't learned with the intent, and that's the only thing. But that's it, really, man. Say it's been a pleasure. Thank you, guys.
Listen, thank you so much for hopping on.
up,
You can hop on more. I don't know why you
Yeah,
haven't.
100%.
You've
I'm
been
back.
hiding. I know you
I'm
want
back
to
full-time.
We've been hiding, bro. Like we've been.
You've been hiding.
Holidays,
He's been
man.
sunning it up.
Holiday.
That's right.
Yeah, man. I'm seeing
Sunning it up.
man's living it up, bro.
Living it up,
Living
instead of just doing the work. Oh,
Thank you, guys. Though it's been a pleasure. I'm definitely here. I'm here. I'm back podcasting, baby, and I love it.
Big up.
Good, guys. Everyone in the chat, please make sure to check out Klopp Zone, because you'll catch a lot of O's work over there. A lot of the shows that he's a host on as well, such as Rants being one of the main ones. So please go check that out, because it is a great show. Oh, thank you for coming on, man.
Big up, mate.
Catch you in a bit.
Guys, enjoy.
Big up, bro.
Yeah.
all right, bye.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you wanna go?
Do what's mad? Do what's mad though? Jamie, what you're saying is 100% right in terms of, and I've said this. I think we need a midfielder to compete. That's my perspective. I don't think we need a midfielder, and I've gone up against Roms in regards to this, and Ish as well in the chat. They think we get a midfielder, we're gonna win the league.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not Ish, but I know Roms for a fact.
I still believe that. Yeah.
And I personally feel it isn't that, because a midfielder doesn't go and transform the way the way we're going to go and play. For me, it means that we compete, because I don't feel that the standard of our midfield allows us to compete properly. It requires too much risk, and it's risky. Thiago being constantly fit, Fab not picking up an injury, our midfield not dropping dead, so Fabinho doesn't have to drop into midfield.
That's what it is. I don't think it's the standard, bro. I think it's the fitness of our midfield. Cool. Let me ask everyone. Let me ask all of you a question right now. If Thiago and Fabinho were guaranteed to be fit, let's just say they're guaranteed to not get injured this campaign, do you have us not winning league? Because I'll be the first to
We'll win
say
the league.
Exactly.
I swear to God, if Thiago's fit every game, we win the league.
If them two,
Thiago's fit, we win. And
Yeah,
if
not even
Thiago
Fab.
Firmino-
Not even Fab.
So-
Hendo can fill in the 6. If Thiago him himself is fit
Yeah,
every
Ish,
game
I'm with
and
you.
everyone
I'm
else
with
is
you.
fit,
So
we
for
win the
me,
league. I
I hear
swear.
what-
I swear.
Yeah, I'm with
For
Ish.
me, I hear what Jerry's saying. Like, Jerry's saying it's more the stand, but for me, it's more the personnel. If Thiago and Fab was to stay fit, I think Fab as well. I don't think Fab can get injured still. If them two were fit for all 38 games, I honestly believe we win the league. I think it's fitness, just not the
But
standard.
what I feel is more important than that is it. Look, I think Jamie spoke about the most though. If you could look at that City midfield, they are all elite, and elite comes with fitness. We're talking about availability. Like if he was fit, it's not saying if Henderson was better creatively, then we'd be calm. Or if Flacco was more agile, then we wouldn't have. I mean, the issue in DM with do we play Flacco? Do we get a replacement for the next? I mean, in a year's time or in a couple of years' time, we wouldn't have these issues. For me, though, it's a style. It's a style thing, and I know someone in the chat's gonna said it. We play a style that's so chaotic. That means that it doesn't matter what midfielder you go and bring in because they're not played they're not played in a way that City's midfield are played. So they will always look inferior. Naby at Leipzig, Naby at Guinea looks like a completely different player. A completely different player.
And you know, just to add to that,
Holland,
Jerry,
at Newcastle look completely different.
Minamino, Shaqiri, the list does go on.
All of them
plays them in a certain way.
completely different. They come and they have to play a specific. Curtis Jones in the academy, how does he play? Even Elliot in the academy plays completely differently than when he plays in the midfield. He just
only taken for Thiago, who's just different to trying to change it up.
But Thiago's the anomaly, and we've spoken.
Exactly.
Thiago's the anomaly.
Exactly.
For me, it gets to a point. For me, it gets to a point, and this is why I've been adamant on this. It's not about the midfield; it's about the style of play. Because exactly, if you have the profile, of player, like if Pep went and played with our, if had our midfield, I don't think he'd go and come in and be like, "Oh my god, the quality's so bad, like I can't deal with this."
I think he would.
Come and play in a certain way.
Midfield, he would be.
Yeah,
bro,
because the midfield,
some of our ballers in midfield, Pep wouldn't even go near them.
No. You say that.
I swear to God, he would not.
I'm saying you say that, but the thing is, a lot of these players haven't had the opportunity to go and play in the midfield like that. Flavian Delph played in that midfield for time at City. For time. Let's not do that.
He played left back as well.
No. Left back for Jerry, let's not do that.
Yeah, but look at the left back.
Look
at the City left backs.
Yeah, they do that in, but yeah, I hear it.
Let's not do that, Jerry. I hear what you're saying about Delph, and when he needed to fill in, he was excellent for them. But you're going on like he was a starter for them. That was only because of fitness issues. That was only because of injuries. You know what I mean? Delph wasn't really a starter for them like that.
But do you know why? Do you know why our midfield plays like this, though? Do you know why our midfield plays like this? Do you know why every play, like he turned Genie from an attacking midfielder to a number 6 almost? You know why? When he left and he tried to change Navigator's game. Do you know why? Like Curtis Jones is not allowed to express himself. The reason that is because of 2 names and 2 names only. One's called Robbo, one's called Trent. They're the system, right? That's why the midfield plays like it does. Because since they came in, before that, the midfield played differently, right?
Yeah.
Since they came in and we fell into this system, like you saw what Trent did, you saw what Robbo could give us from fullback areas. It turned the midfield into a workhorse midfield where it wins the ball back really quickly and then just gets rid. You know, they don't have to do anything creativity, nothing special on the ball. Defend your space, attack the space, win the ball back, get rid. Yeah, and then them 2 players do. And we're still playing that system now. The problem is the midfield is now too old and not mobile enough to do that system anymore. So if Klopp wants to continue this system, then he needs certain players to come into this midfield, which is why midfielders that we're all chatting about, the Bellinghams and Nunez's in this world, Klopp might not actually want them. And that's why we're not buying anybody, because the player he wants available to him to play this system isn't available right now. And this Bellingham stuff does my head in as well. I've never once heard the club come out and said, we're buying Jude Bellingham. Jude Bellingham's the only player we want. I think so many fans have just got on this Bellingham thing, and it's built like a pyramid.
It's because we saw Jordan Henderson doing his tie in England. That's why.
It's just he said he
embarrassing though.
Like, he's a fan.
It honestly sounds embarrassing coming from Liverpool fans, and all we talk about is Jude Bellingham. Like, that's embarrassing, because if you don't sign him now,
anyhow, we don't get it. If he goes City,
no, but the thing is like, I'm not even looking
City
at
might if Silva goes.
Forget who gets him. It's the sheer fact that why do you want
We
him
not.
so badly that like he is the Messiah? Like I said in the group earlier on, this isn't Messi, this isn't Ronaldo, this isn't Haaland. Like this isn't a player of that kind of level where if you buy him, you know that you're buying someone who is more or less guaranteeing you success. Remember, you're getting Bellingham.
I think in world football, though, Jim, in world football, like if you're looking at central midfielders, Bellingham's the guy to get them.
Well,
he's a guy to get, but he's more of a guy that you're going to build your.
He's not even getting it.
You're not buying him
right now.
saying, yeah, he's going to come into the team and he changes it dramatically straight away. He's
going
to score 10 goals. He's going to get 10 assists. How many goals does Bellingham get a season? I don't know.
Don't ask that question. You know, I looked up the other day. Don't even ask.
Oh, yeah. Do you get what I mean? It's over-reliant. And that's why I agree with Jamie there. Like, I actually am annoyed at hearing so many fans talk about Bellingham. And I'm like, talk about someone else.
Yo, G, let's feed that.
I think he's coming from Roms because he's just talking about himself.
It's all good now. Yeah.
Roms was just checking himself, you know.
I'm baking in there, man.
He's just landed his plane. He's just landed.
But like, do you get what I mean? It's that kind of over-reliance. And as Jamie said there, like, the role that Bellingham plays, me personally, he cannot play in our team. That he can't do that in our team. Like, we don't require him in this system. He's not that type of player. So there are other players around Europe that you could be looking for that Klopp might even want. We don't know, as JB said, we don't know who Klopp wants. If we wanted Bellingham, we probably would have inquired about him. We haven't done so. So
look,
this whole Bellingham thing.
Look, all the players we have generally been in. All the players we have generally had a proper real interest in, as far as I know, are all defensive midfielders.
Yeah. Exactly.
So that tells you everything. Klopp doesn't want a number 8 that can score 15 goals a season.
Yeah,
it doesn't suit what he wants to do. You know, and I don't know if we really need that as much when the team scored 140 odd goals last season. It's a mad thing to say. And
while Trent is in a team, we can't have a right-sided centre midfielder who's all over the place.
No, you just can't.
Whoever's playing that role, you got.
You know what it is? You know what it is? Ish, this is the problem. I feel like we can have a right centre midfielder that can do what Hendo does and has a bit more quality.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
But big up Hendo. If it weren't for Hendo all these years, Trent wouldn't get that far forward.
But Jamie, don't you think we can get a right central midfielder that does what Hendo does? That's probably expertise in another way. Maybe
you know what I'd do?
Yeah.
You know what I'd do? This is going to sound mental. I'd buy Ward Prowse from Southampton.
No.
I've said
no.
I think he's a better player. I think he's a better player than people give him credit for. It's just
he's better than Hendo.
But do what is though? We're talking about Henderson and saying that, you know what? Can we get a player that does more than Henderson, but does that ability? We had that. Do you know who we tried to go and play in that position? We tried to use Ox. It didn't work because we always got attacked down that side. We tried to use Naby Keita, and I can give you 3 examples of times where Naby Keita has played on the right side of a midfield and been cooked. He scored a worldie.
Atletico.
Both
goals at Atletico.
Both goals at Atletico where he's been cooked on that side. As long as Trent is in that formation, and that's why I've even said I'm worried for Elliot. And the reason why I'm worried for Elliot, the more he plays in that right-hand side of the midfield, you're not going to get any output from him. And I've said it. He's Henderson that looks a bit saucier in the eye. And it's true. Because just because man plays a pass looking that way, just because man plays a pass looking that way and plays it for Trent to cross the ball, and Henderson just does a kind of textbook pass into that right side, the output's the same. The output's the same. He's not Thiago playing in that on that right hand side. He's definitely not doing that. If you look at the positions he's taken up, he don't go and make runs into the box. He don't get into the box. He don't do what Odegaard or Emil Smith-Rowe do. Emil Smith-Rowe got double digits in goals and assists. You're trying to tell me that none of our midfielders can't get double digits in goals and assists?
I ain't rating like that though. Still, I hear you.
Jerry, this is what I've said this before, but I want to. There's a comment, and people have said that I was disrespecting Klopp, saying he's no tactics. This is what the problem is. It's not a problem of players. If we did change the system, I think we can compete this season. If we play a double pivot in midfield and release someone to play an 8 or a 10 role ahead of them, we've got cover for Trent.
Who are you going to play in a double pivot right now?
Hendo, Fabinho.
Yes.
And you think that would win you a league?
They free up Carvalho, they free up Elliot to to do that.
Where you
role
playing
to be
Thiago
creative.
then in the 10?
No,
Tell me,
Thiago comes in.
he's
Thiago's
out,
Fabinho,
man.
Thiago in the double pivot. If they're both fit, Fabinho, Thiago, double pivot.
yeah.
Carvalho.
They kind of
sits
play
in
like that
ahead.
anyway. They
You
kind
know
of play
why-
like when
you
whoever
know
plays
why
on the
you're
right
right.
always
That's
bit
why
more
we're better with
progressive
You know-
Thiago in the
Do
team.
you know why
Yeah.
you're right like that? Thiago and Fabinho are our best defenders in midfield, yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah.
How many games have they lost together?
None.
0.
Exactly.
Zero, bro.
Because they
Not
suit the
missing,
system
none.
Klopp wants to play, and they're the best defenders we have in midfield.
This is
That
why
is
we should
Klopp
play
plays
those
that
two.
system. Yeah.
Yeah, but we should play. They would work perfect in a double pivot, and then that frees up. Because what's the point in playing Hendo with two defensive, our best two
guys,
defensive
Because
midfielders?
you need
I'll be
someone
so
to cover
real, yeah?
Trent on that side.
Yeah,
Guys,
that's
I'll
what
be
I was
so real. We
thinking.
can't rely on Thiago, and we can't hang our hat on Thiago.
No,
we
no,
can't
yeah,
even be
we
like
can't,
in our best
yeah,
team.
yeah,
This
yeah.
is we need
Yeah.
to actually
That's why I was like,
not
who
find a
you putting
replacement,
next
but
to?
we need an
Yeah,
alternative.
yeah,
We need
but
an
this is
alternative.
why-
Tie his
if-
laces, then
You
his
know what
hamstring
Thiago
will
is?
fall.
You know what
If-
Thiago is?
Well, he's big games
Thiago-
only.
Wow.
Big games only.
Yes. Thiago's that whatever dish you want in your local Caribbean shop, yeah. When you pop in there, and every
When
week
I have
they say,
that.
we now have
It's
that, we
gone.
now have
Always
that,
gone.
we now have that. And then what happens is that you go that one Sunday, do you know what I mean, after church, and they've got it, and you're like, oh my god, and it's the thing that everyone wants. So that's what it is. That's what
No,
it is.
and Jerry, that day you might not necessarily even need it. Do you know what I mean?
You're not even hungry. You're not even hungry that day.
It's Burnley away. Do you know what I mean? It's Burnley away. We know we're gonna pop them anyway, but Thiago's gonna play anyway because you're like, you know what? I don't need it, but I know I'm not gonna get
And then
it.
it's Chelsea at the bridge, and you're like,
It's not there. Yeah.
yeah.
I hear this one, right? But if we've got that double pivot, if we get people injured, I would rather see, for example, if Thiago's injured and Keita's coming in, we can still play Carvalho, we can still play Elliott, because I don't mind Keita and Fabinho in a double pivot. I don't mind Milner and Hendo. I don't mind Fabinho and Jones. Like,
Wait,
I
Milner
don't mind
and
this.
Hendo, Ash.
Listen,
I agree
as a
with all
double
of the
pivot,
parents, but that one.
I'll take that one back. I'll take that one back.
I just said Jonas and double pivot.
All these
Mil-
other combinations, they'd work. They would
Mil-
work.
Yeah.
Milner's been arguably our best midfielder
Yes, yeah.
Bro,
in pre-season,
That's the problem, Jamie.
and he's
Yeah,
37, and he's 37. He's more
Man, want
mobile.
to change the game against Fulham.
Jamie,
But
Yeah,
that's
that
the problem.
man.
Why are we relying on Milner to change
Yeah.
our fortune to get a promotion, a team that's just promoting?
I'm not going to lie, though. Bearded Milner is the thing. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, he's balling.
Fred
He's balling out.
Flintstone.
Milner's
It's Fred
still-
Flintstone, bro.
Oh, by the way,
Please
Mil-
go.
Milner's a better 8 than Endo. I ain't going.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
can
yeah.
admit
No,
If,
he's-
Honestly.
Milner had to play 8 instead of Hendo for a couple of games, I actually wouldn't mind.
No.
It wouldn't bother me. It wouldn't bother
The
me.
fact that
Milner-
Milner is being considered to play any games is what's worrying me the most.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Like,
This was supposed to
To
be
be Carabao Cup
Why-
only.
why
at the
don't-
most.
I've always said,
Carabao FA Cup in Jan. That's the
Oh,
first
Yeah,
time
yeah,
I
yeah.
wanna-
by the way,
Early
by
one.
the way,
Shrewsbury away and then
Jan.
banned.
by the way, when the League Cup starts, Jay Spearing is playing, so get your hopes up on that.
Oh,
Um,
man.
It's
He's
gonna be-
probably better now than he was, to be
It's
fair.
going to be Jay Spearing just for vibes. Klopp's going to piss everyone off. He's going to put
Yeah, and I
Spearing,
can see
Milner,
Klopp doing
and
it as well.
Henderson in midfield just to piss everyone off.
And
He's
he's even
going
got
to
a shirt
bring
number.
Brewster back.
Has he even got a shirt number?
Brewster and
What
Solanke
number
are
is
going to
he?
come back.
67, isn't
Oh,
it?
gee,
69.
G's a legend. How can I say the fact Milner's considered to play any game?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's true.
That's
But
a
why
really-
we? I spoke
He's
this out on my
done really
channel the
well.
other day to help the midfield situation. Right, we're not buying anyone. Why don't we just play 3 at the back?
Thank you. That
Why,
was-
why
never
don't we
doing
just
that.
go? Why
Never
don't we
doing
just go? Why don't we just go? Canate, Matip, and Van Dijk. First
Jamie.
of all, good luck getting past that.
Yeah.
Two wing backs. Trent plays it anyway. Plus, it helps out Trent defensively because he ain't
Yeah.
got to worry about that fucking back post mistake he makes
Exactly.
every week. Because the third centre back will be on that
Jerry's
back
been
post, right?
saying this, to be fair.
Left wing back, you play Robbo. He plays in that position anyway. Then you just have 2 in midfield. Then you can put like a Carvalho or a Bobby in that number 10 role, and just have your front 3 that we got now. It helps out the midfield situation. Then you got a bit more
And you've
squad
still
depth.
got Gomez as backup. If
Yeah,
anyone's
then-
like,
and
you
then-
think
and
of
then
fitness, you still got
and then
Gomez
just,
as backup.
just keep Nat Phillips around as well, and you just got
Yeah.
Nat Phillips and Gomez as
You
your spare 2.
Do you know what
Don't
angers
think he gets
me?
more game
Yeah,
time.
I agree. I agree.
You know what
Jamie. I feel
angers
like
me,
that's the way
Jamie?
forward.
We all agree and we all know. I think that will take us to another level. But we all know match
You'll
day will
never
come
see
against
that.
Palace and Klopps just not doing it. Like, this is why it annoys me, because we can speak about all these formations, these systems, and we come to game day and it's that
Fab,
4-3-3.
Hendo, Keita.
Oh,
I promise you one
against
day.
Palace,
Fab,
against
Hendo,
Palace.
Keita.
No,
100%.
against Palace, it's going to be Milner, Henderson, and Fabinho. I'm telling you,
Oh,
That's a
Yes, sir.
shout, you know.
it's going to be.
That
against
is a
Palace.
good
surely
shout.
Naby's back. Surely Naby's back.
He is
I think
back.
he's
I don't
training.
think
Yeah,
so.
but But Fred Flintstone's been playing well, isn't it? So he's going to be in there.
I think that contract with Elliot, that contract
No,
they gave,
Elliot, Klopp loves Elliot.
that's a guaranteed starter. That's a statement. Before the game, they've just given him a contract. They've renewed it last year, by the way.
Yeah,
He's
they're
done it again. That's a statement to say, you know what?
Klopp loves him,
the pecking order now.
New shirt number.
Jerry, can I just say, right? Do you think this contract is another Mo Salah situation? It's another illusion, another trick. What were we doing before Mo Salah signed the contract? Asking for a midfielder. No, it started to build up again. We're kicking up a fuss about getting a midfielder. What have they done? Coincidentally, they've released, we've signed our best young talent to a long-term deal, so everyone can be like, oh, yeah, Elliot. I'm surprised they elevate him. I'm surprised they elevate him. Yeah, but some Liverpool fans... that's it. Yeah, that is cold. Some Liverpool fans will be super excited about tying Elliot down.
I'm excited as well, but you can't sweeten me with that. The Salah one, you can sweeten me with Salah.
But do you think they've done it now?
No, I think they've done it. I think they've done it. I think they've done it because Klopp just wants to play Elliot. Klopp loves Elliot.
Yeah,
think about the season before he got his injury. Klopp started him.
Yeah, he actually did well.
And when he got injured, he came straight back, and Klopp put him straight back in the team.
What I don't get with Elliot though is I'm really interested to see. Like, I'm intrigued, and I'd like to pick Klopp's brain. Why is Elliot getting why is he favoured so much? Because Trent didn't even get this favouritism.
Yeah.
And Trent
never played big games. Remember Gomez used to play the big games instead of Trent.
But that's my point. What has Elliot done to get that favour? That
confuses me as well. Jerry, what's Elliot done more than Jones to even merit him being in the team?
Nothing.
Or even Carvalho. Carvalho's shown so much promise in pre-season.
I mean, Carvalho's new, but Carvalho's a new signing, so I could see, like, you know what, he's a new signing. So
yeah, you put Elliot in there before.
But what I'm trying to say, I don't see, like, no other young prospect of ours has had so much hype and push by the club, and I don't get it. I don't know whether
Morton has, but we sent him on loan to Blackburn.
Yeah. Does this
go Morton? How Klopps got Morton?
Yes. Is it me alone? When I saw Tyler Morton with the Blackburn shirt standing next to the other geezer, Morton looks big all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Last the other season looked absolutely tiny.
Eat some hard food, man.
Even that in itself, all the pre-season hype for Morton. I know me, Jerry, and G. We all thought, he's a mainstay. Like he's gonna be involved in the squad this season. Then he's on his way to Blackburn. It's like
Blackburn,
So I think the Spanish kid who came in at pre-season looked technically better.
Do you guys think? I'm going to ask a question for us as well, but and run through the comments as well quickly. But do you guys feel that Tjjs will have like a big role to play this season? I mean, he got the contract as well. Is that just to keep him around?
I hope not. I hope
he's going to play.
I hope he doesn't. If he starts getting the big role, then we're in problems.
I hope he does. I hope he
will. How is he going to progress by playing in the reserves? I want to see what he's like against actual top, not top players, but cup games.
Okay, cool. Let's put you this way. How old is Badgetic? Does anyone know?
18, I think.
17.
He's 17. Oh, he's 17. Yeah. Okay, well, I definitely don't.
He was 19.
He's small as well.
But that's it. That's what we're going back to age. We're going back to age again. Like age doesn't matter. We said this.
No.
Fabregas. I'm not saying he's Fabregas, but
I'm not saying the age matters.
By the way, age does matter. It's just football.
Whoa.
That went so left.
Age matters a lot.
Age matters a lot. I would put that disclaimer out there. But in football, it does not really matter. So in football, when I'm looking at someone like Badgetic, I'm saying to myself, if you are sitting there as a person and you're saying you're trying to hang your hat on a guy who hasn't played any level of senior football, and you're trying to walk him into a team who's trying to compete at like elite honors, and he isn't even at an elite level himself, we're in bigger problems than you think. I can't see how you're looking at Badgetic and saying that's the guy. I'm not looking at him.
I want to see what he's like, though. I want to see.
I want to see what he's like, of course. But so whose fault is that? Like, I don't understand.
But what I'm saying is, we've got a talent like Badgetic that's come from the rank. We've bought him from Celta Vigo, right? You either, and this is what I'm saying with Jones, with Elliot, with Carvalho. Play the damn players. If they're not good enough, Get rid of them. There's none of this. You're waiting 2, 3, 4 seasons saying he's got.
You're putting them into an elite team and then now.
2 years old, and we're looking around, like, that's our option. You should have been option for midfield when he came to the club. If he's not good enough, get rid of him or get what Chelsea do and send him out on loan.
If you think about it, you play to the level.
17. You're saying, let's say we throw Bajcetic in, he does crap for every single game that he has. Does that mean that when he hits 19, he won't be any better? Like, I can't hang my hat on a 7. This is not Messi. I'm sorry, but you cannot put players on these levels.
Milner played at 16.
You want to give him a bigger role in the team. Why?
I just want to see. He looked like a talent in preseason. He looked like a talent.
Yeah.
Like a talent. If I, you know, what I mean, if I.
Nah, come on. He looked good. Like he had a good showing. He had a good showing preseason.
He looked good.
He had one time, guys. We're going over the top now. We're generally.
But G, listen, man.
But G, how are we ever gonna know? How are we ever gonna know if he's serious or not if you don't play him against?
No. There's a difference between seeing if he's serious, and there's a difference between actually hanging your hat like, yeah, I'd love to. I don't want to see him too much. If we're using him that much, clearly there's a problem. Like, you should be able to see.
If we're using him, but he's performing, that's what I'm talking about. If we're using,
if he's performing, then by all means you go do your thing.
But we don't know he's going to perform until we actually give him the chance.
Yes.
So you think that Bajcetic is going to come in and perform better than a Fabinho? Like, I do not see.
No, we're not saying Fabinho. Listen, G. We've seen him in.
No. You are saying that because that's what he's got to do.
We've seen him in recent. We've seen Bajcetic.
I'm saying that's what he's got to do. You're all saying you'd want to see him. He has to displace Fabinho because that's his position. So either you want Fabinho playing or you don't want Fabinho playing.
One thing I bet this wait, Ash, Jerry, Ish, and Jamie, when you say you want to see Bajcetic, do you mean you want to see him start a Premier League game? Because this is where I'm with G.
No.
Whoa. This is where I'm with G.
Cool. Okay,
I want to see him start a cup game as an audition.
Then go into the Premier League.
Because we can't be in a title race competing with City for him to be auditioning in a game and then he gets slapped 2-3-0.
No one's to play him in the league. Play him in the cup. He does sick.
But guys, we're talking about a midfield now, and we're all saying we need a midfielder, we need this, we need that, because we can't compete. That's what we're saying. If we're talking about we're going to go and challenge, then right. If you go and get a midfielder in, then clearly you're shutting out the window for a young player to come through. But if you've got these players we're talking about and saying, oh, this player's not available, play the damn player, because at least you know sooner than later whether he's good enough or not. We might challenge with Bajcetic. I don't know what he's capable of. I don't know. You don't know. Says Fabregas at 16 if he doesn't play. Milner's not Milner at 16 if he doesn't play. Foden's not Foden if he doesn't play. Saka isn't Saka if he doesn't play. We can't keep doing the same thing we've done with Jones. We play him in the damn cups. He comes off the bench every other game, and then we expect him to go and displace one of the main members on our team.
You know what as well, a bit of bounce into it. Big up Monts for this one as well. What itchy player do you know that's not good? Like, at the end of itch, you're normally a baller. Like, deep in. The end of itch, you're already made star. So, yeah. That was all just.
You know what it is?
I want to see him in a proper game. Oh, yeah, sorry, guys.
Just to round this off, like, we're not saying, G, like, rest our hopes on Bajcetic. We've seen him in pre-season. He's performed well. If we don't sign any other midfielders, if we need to rest Fabinho, I don't want to see Milner coming in at CDM. I don't want to see it. Just put Bajcetic in there. Like, if we're not going to compete anyway,
play man in their position.
It's the chance
to get to this point. If we don't sign the midfielder,
yeah, I know. I agree with what you're saying. But why risk?
We're putting ourselves in a position where we're going to put Bajcetic under immense pressure that he doesn't really need right now at this stage.
If we bring a midfielder in, we're putting them under pressure as well. It's a risk no matter what we do. We could sign someone, they might not be there. Do you know what I mean? So I think Bajcetic has shown, if he's shown willing, why not give him a chance?
I agree. We're not talking about, you know what? Are we in to go and sign Modric from Real Madrid to help us win this season now? We're talking about getting a Bellingham that's 19. We've seen with Sancho. Sancho was the saviour for United. And yeah, United are going through their nonsense. But look at his output. It hasn't been great. It hasn't been the same. So we can't go and look at and be like, yeah, we're going to get this 19-year-old from it. We've got this 17-year-old playing them. Because what's the point?
Hey, I'm not the one who's saying get Bellingham, by the way. Don't shout at me.
No. I'm using that as an example. The fan base are talking about Bellingham. And this is the most fans' lips.
Yeah.
Talking about getting a midfielder, you get you either play them. It's not what I don't get is that we say we need a midfielder, but we're not playing the midfielders we've got. So either Klopp get rid of them or the club get rid of them to play the midfielders that we've got because the others are not available, like your Thiagos or your Fabinhos or whoever's injured, or play them. I don't get it.
The outgoings are so important.
You know what you're saying? What you're saying is so simple. Is that how would you ever know they're good enough if you don't even give them a chance? I know exactly what you mean. Give them a chance in a high-profile game.
And if you're not going to give them a chance, just get rid of them. Yeah. And I'm the biggest Jones fan, but if you're not going to play him, and I said it, if you're not going to play him 8 games consecutively and see, show me what you can do in a high-pressure moment in a massive club. If you're not good enough, leave. That's it.
You know what?
We can't afford to do that though. We can't actually afford to do that.
That's why we're not buying any midfielders this season. Because I do believe Klopp has looked at it and thought, I want to get Harvey Gaines. He's just signed a new contract.
So are you not then happy then if we don't sign a midfielder?
No, I'm not happy.
No, don't even finish the sentence. I literally
think this is what Klopp's thinking though. Klopp, I think he's literally thinking, I'm going to give Harvey a lot of minutes this season.
Yeah, I think so.
It's a lot of minutes. You know, I'm going to give.
But they're not good enough, man. I'm sorry, but they're not good enough, man.
They're not. But he's going to give it. I think Elliot can be good enough. I think Curtis Jones can be good enough, but he's just not given game time. When you're 21 years old, and you have 3 games in a row, and then you're not seen again until Boxing Day. You know, you can't. You can't get better,
no rhythm.
Jamie, but what I'm saying is, I think they're good enough, but clearly they're not good enough for Klopp's system because you don't play them.
Exactly. So if they ain't good enough, then go.
And what I'm scared of is Elliot playing, and it's mad. Elliot plays in Arsenal system. Elliot looks a star. Jones plays in Arsenal system. You see him. You do what Emil Smith Rowe done, and you'll be in the England setup. But he's not.
He's better than him. I think Jones is better than him.
And he's not doing
it. Not currently, but I feel like, maybe potentially.
You know why, Jamie? You know why what you're saying is so true as well. It's like, even Morton, I wasn't the biggest advocate for him because of what happened in that Spurs game. But to add context, you can't expect the best out of him when you've got Milner and Keita next to you.
Unfair,
that's what Jerry's alluding to. That was unfair to me because I saw that one game and I judged him. But let's say he started the next 4 games and played well, my opinion would be so much more different. But again, it comes back down. The reason why this is frustrating because it comes back down to what our objectives are. Because it is to win the title. Do we take that risk?
We can't afford.
It's like a double-edged sword. It's so.
But that's why I'm so against playing someone like nah, because and I think Beditic is good. I've waxed lyrical about the guys watching him play. I don't think he's dead, and I think he has got a future. My issue is you're like, not you guys, but the pressure that you're going to try and put on players who, from what I've seen, are not of that kind of ilk where you can or you can give them that level of pressure. Yes, you can say if you don't try him, but we've tried Jones too many times now, man. The guy has auditioned enough to tell me that you can't play in this team. Maybe it's probably best that you probably go because you don't fit anywhere in this system. Nothing he does is actually good at all. But that's not to say that Jones is a bad player. We've seen Jones at under 21s. I think he's a baller. I think he's an absolute baller. But in this system, he just doesn't work. Elliot, I feel, is going to go down the exact same route. Under 21s, he's going to look like an amazing talent. But in this system, he's going to get stifled because he's actually a creative player. We've seen him. We saw him at Blackburn on the right wing. We're seeing him in right central midfield, 2 different positions. Like, it's a lot to put on these players. And I just think they're just going to get kind of, Jones has been here for ages now, and he doesn't look any better than when he first joined the team. Do you get what I mean? It's like, when do you give, when is that time? When is it now time to say, hey, Jones, you know what? Let's give you 10 games in a row. Maybe this injury crisis would have helped if he wasn't injured, but
he's injured himself. Yeah, it's like he's injured himself.
Do you know what the difference?
The
difference between Jones. The difference between Jones and Elliot for me, Jones seems happy to just be in the squad. He just wants to play for Liverpool. Yeah. He'll do any job that he's asked. Whereas Elliot, I feel like Elliot's got a bit more confidence. I feel like Elliot,
he seems more mature.
He seems a bit more mature. He's going to express himself a little bit more and do certain things that he's done at right wing and at Blackburn. So I think that's why he's going to progress a little bit better than Jones has. And he's naturally right-sided as well.
Do you not actually think Jones will make it as a starter for Liverpool at any point?
No.
No.
So it's just like
I want him to leave. I love
Yeah.
everyone knows how I feel about Jones, but I want him to leave because
for
I
him.
genuinely
Yeah.
believe if he leaves, he'll be an England player, 100%. But he just
You
will
got some
not.
serious faith
And
in
he
this guy.
he will
telling you,
thrive.
bro, it's not the high, bro.
He'll thrive in a team that play that attractive brand of football, maybe like a Brighton or a Villa or a West Ham. He'll thrive in them teams. But for our system, literally just echoing what Ash said, I rate Jones highly. But I've said it for about a year or two now. I just can't see him being a star in our team due to the way we play. And
You know what's so mad? If he went to Fulham, he'd probably be doing what Carvalho was doing last year. It's just they don't make any sense.
Yeah.
If he went to Fulham, he'd probably ball out for them. He probably would ball out for them.
He'd probably do
It's
more.
mad, it's crazy. Crazy.
Yeah, I got a question for you guys. I was just thinking this just now. So in the Premier League era, what's the greatest midfield you've ever seen? And I bet we all say they have the same answer.
Say that again. Sorry.
In the Premier League, the Liverpool's greatest ever midfield you've seen in the Premier League era.
That's easy for me.
Alonso, Mascherano, Gerrard.
Right. Okay. That is the same answer. That is the same answer.
Nuts,
what did it win?
Nothing.
I wasn't going to say that. I wasn't going to say that.
But that's the rest of the team. But look at the back
I was
five.
going to say
though.
that. I was going to say Fab Genie Hendo. I was going to say that.
And that's the team that won. So
Gill.
this is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that midfield weren't really doing it for me like that.
Nah.
I'm Genie's biggest
see what I
fan.
mean?
So,
You see what I mean? Genie's
Yeah, but
fan.
imagine that midfield in this squad.
Bro,
they didn't
we're
have the
winning
defense we've
all.
got now. They
We're
didn't have
winning
the
it
attack we
all.
have now.
You know, actually, we say that, but the reality is, I don't even think we would win everything because Gerald will be asked to hold the
defend
ball.
Yeah, but
you know he's not doing it. He's still
told,
slapping it.
yeah,
He's still slapping it.
Gerald had disobeyed that badness.
Yeah,
to be fair,
discipline.
Mascherano's got the legs to cover anyone anyway, so Gerrard could do what he wanted.
To be fair, if you put a prime 27-year-old Steven Gerrard in his team right now, we win the league.
Yeah,
everything. We actually win it all.
I'll tell the Premier League to etch our name in from now.
And I'll tell you what as well. The Kevin De Bruyne stuff will stop as well.
Oh yeah, of course.
De Bruyne. I've never seen a player that looks more like Steven Gerrard than Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah,
his game is exactly the same, but people say Gerrard's naff and crap. But everyone praises it, and there's no difference between the two of them. But
I do think when KDB retires, I think they'll be in the same bracket. Because for me, I think he's top 3 midfielders in Premier League. I think.
The only thing though, Jamie,
I don't have him third either.
I hear the De Bruyne and Gerrard comparison, but I don't know if De Bruyne
No. As in, I'm disgusted, but it's because I'm thinking about how good KDB is. I agree with you.
He's ridiculous, bro.
I'm not gonna lie. There's gonna be an argument.
You
can't say Jerry. Don't
always say that's on your mind.
I literally don't think there's any. I don't literally think there's anything Kevin De Bruyne does now that Stevie couldn't.
No, they do the same thing.
Stevie was a bit defensive.
Stevie was even maybe a better defender.
I think KDB was much more flary. KDB could go and
definitely more flary.
Gerrard had the flair as well, though, bro. He just didn't always use it. He had more pace and power. He had a bit more pace and power, and KDB might have a bit more finesse. But in terms of actual technical ability, bro, some of Gerrard's assists, like the one at Highbury, the one at Craven Cottage. Yeah, bro,
that's the one.
Mad.
Flair, by the way, flair is the most overrated thing in football.
100%.
I've seen some of the most flairiest. I've seen most of the flair. Like St. Maximin is the flairiest football I've ever seen.
Yeah, man's just doing 20 step overs and just in the same spot.
He's got zero end product.
I wouldn't say a key example.
I wouldn't say Mo's that flary, but the man's got end product for days. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what
Mo's the most stiffest guy I know in the world, but this guy is all end product.
Bro, but the thing is, though, look at what Diaz is doing on the other side, and we're crying out for productivity. So listen, bring me Mo Salah any day of the week.
We'll get into that another time.
You lot, a quick question, The reason why I don't want to make this a KDB versus Gerrard debate, but the reason why KDB could just never be it for me, do you feel he could? That Champions League final, Gerrard pretty much played everywhere at some point. Do you think KDB is as versatile as in play other than goalkeeper can play every position?
But remember, context. Let's context. Gerrard has everything to do about Liverpool. KDB is around absolute baller. He don't need to do that. He never ever needs to.
Do you reckon he
Gerrard
could?
is around bums half the time.
I think when you're that. I think when you're that good,
You play
I think
anywhere,
these players will drag them out because in different contexts, you've seen De Bruyne go and just run. Do you know what I mean? Like that goal he scored last
He
season.
won them the league. He pretty much won them the league.
100%.
This season. Or we've seen Salah when he's gone and pulled. I think his context. I think if we had Salah back then, I think you'd see Salah doing everything in it. Like he'd be defending as well because of how bad we were. Especially obviously Gerrard's got that affinity with Liverpool, so it's like a fan playing for Liverpool. It's a different dynamic as well. De Bruyne is just a player in it. It's just a player at City essentially.
Do you think Man City fans even? Yeah. Do you think Man City fans even think De Bruyne is the greatest ever player?
It's still Colin Bell, ain't it? It's still Colin Bell, ain't it? He'll always be Colin Bell.
Bro,
I mean, their shirt this season is like after him, ain't it? The colour of it.
Yeah.
It's the Colin Bell shirt. Yeah, he's always
you know when the video came out, Snoop Dogg's like, who? And they're like,
he'd definitely be up there. He'd definitely be up there. He'd have to be.
All right, let me run through some of the comments and I've got obviously the question to go and ask you guys as well, which is obviously a bit of a sticky one as well. So
here we go.
Casey for day saying our system is predictable, and since Buvac left, we play boring football.
Oh, don't mention Buvac, bloody hell, you get
you get killed.
Don't mention
I wouldn't say our football now is boring, but it can be predictable sometimes. But
I wouldn't say boring, but I'd say predictable. I think it's very predictable. I think
you see the goal we scored against City 18-19. We don't score that kind of goal. We don't score that kind of goal.
Man City's football is predictable. You just can't stop it.
Yeah. I've said it, but it's conducive, isn't it? It works. It just works clearly. Quadruple FC saying, I mean, none of our midfielders playing their national teams apart from Naby. It's the quality. It's chaotic because Hendo hoofs the ball when he's supposed to be progressing.
That's not true.
Is that true?
I don't think
they're in the squads. They're not starting 11 players.
Actually, no, you're right.
You know what? I don't think Hendo hoofs the ball as much as people.
Nah, he doesn't.
I wouldn't say he
don't hoof the ball.
It's when he does it.
What he does. What he does, he's in that right-hand channel and he does that back post cross, which I think Klopps told him to do. But that one, I think that is just needs to stop because it's the first time ball it comes to him, and then he just does.
Just tries to that
anyone
that feathered ball into the.
It's just like, bro, look up. Yeah. Just look up and look in the box because more time there's literally no Liverpool players in there.
Yeah, but there will be this season.
Yeah,
if Nunes starts,
a lot of time Nunes is coming to the right anyway because a lot of these runs have been towards Salah. They haven't been towards the back post. So
that link up.
By the way, though, if Nunes missed that second chance, are we cussing him because there's no need to do the back heel on both occasions?
That's why I love it.
I think
that kind of is though. Still,
I love it. I love it.
If his momentum takes him too far and the ball's behind him,
I get that.
Otherwise, he stands there and we're like, oh, he's mistimed his run, or do you know what I mean? So,
by the way, an FUBT for trying to take that goal off him as well. Deflection. No, it didn't.
No, it didn't.
If you actually watch it properly, the Fulham defender put it onto his foot and it clearly comes off.
It's a quality finish. It's
quality finish. Casey was there saying, but he allows Henderson to play to an attacking role. It literally has zero attacking ability. It's kind of confusing. Because there's not. I guess he's not one of our better defenders in that midfield, like Jamie said. So he's got to play more advanced, if anywhere. But when you think about it, it's Trent that's actually the most advanced out of anyone in our midfield when he joins.
Do you think if we had just fullbacks that never went over the halfway line, just old-fashioned sit-back fullbacks like Mourinho would like, right? Do you reckon? I think our midfield would be totally different.
100%. 100%.
I do think we relied too much on the fullbacks. Like, I've never seen a system where it's like these two people are so alleviated from any sort of like. They both, and now Robbo's got a bit of competition now, but Trent can have a stinker of all stinkers, but we have to play him because he's.
The thing is, though, have you actually seen Trent's stats? They're ridiculous.
Yeah. But we all watch him 90 minutes week in, week out, and we all have times in the game where we're like, Trent, for fuck's sake, man.
I let him off a little bit with them stats, man.
And Jamie, you know what I can't stand? What I can't stand is this stigma that he can't defend because
his defensive stats are good, man.
One-on-one, he's improved so much. It's just the defensive awareness.
It's concentration. He's a bit lazy sometimes. That's what it is.
But players are really getting past him now.
But do you know what it is? If he was a right winger or like one of those, right midfielders that Leicester had back in there when they played 4-4-2, that's fine. But at right back, he can't do that because it's like if Van Dijk was Van Dijk but had lapses in concentration, we concede in every game. Like you can't.
That's Lovren, bro.
Position where he plays. That's my point. But where he plays in that position, unfortunately, I agree. Like he's become better defensively, but it's still not good enough. He has to be better defensively because they're going to keep targeting him, and it's just going to keep looking like, look what's happened. And do you know what I mean? At one point, something's got to give, and he's got to mature his game. He just has to.
I can't stand Twitter at the time, but when I saw that thread, it hurt because there was about 12 different goals, and it was the same.
Yeah, but I could also do that. I could do that with a lot of fullbacks.
Yeah.
I could do that with a lot of fullbacks. Tjjs just picked on all the time. He's just picked on all the time. But I've seen Reece James get absolutely murdered, and no one ever talks about it. Cancelo, by the way, for Man City, everyone goes past him. Everyone goes past him all the time. Everyone
I care about Trent only. That's the thing about him. So where he's got like that amazing, i.e., Lionel Messi's great, but he's not really a good header. So people will have that against him in the battle between him and Ronaldo because Ronaldo is such a great header of the ball. It's like Trent is so good at one thing.
Ask Van der Sar if he's a bad header of a ball.
Yeah, I was literally just thinking that as well. And Rio as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I can find 3 clips of Messi scoring headers. But you know what I mean? Like, that's not his kind of. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Trent is so good going forward. People are gonna always try and find like that tiny little thing that he does in games, and you're just like, bro, come on, man. Like he did one mistake in 40 assists. You get what I mean? It's like you can't get onto him too much sometimes. Like that's why I just leave Trent to let him do his thing because he's so good going forward. I don't want him to really change that. The team needs to sort it out themselves.
But just to come back quickly, what we're saying, you even said it yourself. It's not like he's getting cooked 1v1. So I can't say allow him going forward because he's bad defensively. These are like basic things like not checking your shoulder to let Mitrovic come and dunk on you, or not checking your shoulder to let Vinicius get the winning goal in the Champions League final. You don't have to be a great defender to check your back post. Like that's what's so annoying. It's like it's little things. If he just tightened up those little areas, he'd become. I'm being real. We're looking at the greatest right back of all time. Like if he was just better in small margins, because
we still could be. We still could be.
Yeah, he still could.
Nah, but you got to realize his assists are why he's up there. Take away those assists, then you're gonna have to start looking at his game a lot differently.
Interceptions or positional play, like on the transition, he's so good at the interceptions, positional. But it's what it says: laziness, back post laziness, letting people just get on his shoulder and just falls asleep.
How old is Trent?
24.
23.
Yeah,
23.
I thought he was 23.
Young. You realize how young he is.
He's a young than me.
Yeah.
There you go. I mean, look out, like he's young, man. He's got time.
Ravi saying, "Yo, big up Jerry and the gang. Slap a like and subscribe to every man on the panel. Like any can. Appreciate that, Ravi." Mark Hay saying, "Jones continues to stagnate the longer he stays at Liverpool. Surprised his representatives have not seen this." Yeah.
Someone said it though. He's pretty happy just to be here in it. I don't even think he'd entertain leaving right now. Like he's at his boyhood club.
Yeah,
I'd be the same. I wouldn't even like it.
I was going to say that. Like, let's say you play for Liverpool, like you want to get better at football, but especially when you know you're going to pick up trophies. Remember Bellingham said at the end of his career, that Bellamy, sorry, he's like, I don't really care about winning, but if I'm a team where we're winning trophies, I'm not really playing, but I'm picking up at that. You know what? He didn't really have that motivating factor, but it's your boyhood club, man.
Yeah, it's difficult, man. Jody P, big up Jody, saying City, I assume, buy the finished product and can start in any situation. We buy young players usually that need seasoning in order to become top class, but then we risk bad result trying to nurture these youths.
Yeah, we buy plain chicken and then make it peri peri Nando's. That's what we do.
Yeah.
But City already go.
Don't always work though.
City always go to the top.
Medium.
Yeah.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah. Jody P saying also that Alonso, Stevie, and Mascherano had a back line behind them, though. Yeah, that's true. The fullbacks, they didn't really bomb forward and stuff, so they were much more secure in terms of.
We had what, Arbeloa and flipping.
Arbeloa was very good.
Arbeloa was when we sold Arbeloa. I was like, nah. I was
confused.
Gutted,
I was like, why did you?
I was gutted.
Like, you think we're right?
I was gutted because he went with Alonso as well, innit?
Well.
Both to Madrid.
Yeah. And his summer.
Stevie Finnan was not a bad right back for us either.
Finnan was underrated.
He was class.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say they do rate Silva more.
Yeah, man. Mohamed Khalil saying they rate David Silva more than KDB. That's in reference.
And Aguero.
They're different midfielders, though. different midfield because
Yeah.
David Silva's my guy. David,
Yeah,
like,
I prefer him to KDB. KDB's better, but I prefer David Silva. Like he's my type of player more. You know what I mean?
he's cute. He's more cute with it, but KDB will just run past you and just slap it top bins like violently.
Yeah.
And
David
he'll
Silva-
put, his numbers will be clearer as well. Like,
yeah.
Rom,
I don't
Rom,
really
who do you prefer,
understand.
Xavi or Iniesta? I think I know the answer. Yeah, well,
I'm
like,
a
I don't know
Javi.
my type of
I'm a
baller,
Javi.
man.
I'm a Javi.
Even
That's
his-
a hard one, you know.
I think
I had
even
Iniesta over Zidane. That's how much I like it.
Ooh,
yeah,
no,
of course.
I
Oh, I'm with
Yeah.
you, Jamie. I am
Oh,
with you.
man.
Iniesta
Zizou,
over
bro.
Zidane every day of the week.
You don't
That's
even
even a
this player.
competition that I even
Nah,
entertain.
G, relax.
Even
Like,
this
you're
player,
too
right?
much of that.
Moves, you know.
Iniesta.
Zizou, bro. Zidane. Zidane.
you can't put Iniesta
You
over
can't.
Zidane.
Hold on,
Can't,
hold on,
nah.
hold on.
Nah, bro.
Zizou,
It's
Everyone
the
in the
feeling, man.
comments,
It's the
please
feeling.
tell us
It's the
who do you
feeling.
guys prefer, Zizou or Iniesta? Please, I want to see it. In
You
the
know
comments.
another player, another player, and I think all of you lot rated him as well, but his diet, drugs, alcohol, partying, like most South Americans got in the
Prince.
way. And I not
Yeah.
not Prince. I
Charlie
didn't
Sheen.
watch him. I didn't watch him in his prime, but I still to
That's
see
right.
some good years. But I bought one of my favorite footballers ever to grace this earth is Riquelme from Villarreal.
Oh yeah.
One Raquel, mate.
And Argentina,
One
he was a
quality
baller. And
Saucy.
even Messi said early in his career, like he taught me a lot of things. I looked up to him, but he didn't take
He looked
football
like a
that
baller.
serious.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't seem like
That's my type of player, man.
I hear that.
Epitomizes the number 10.
Yeah. Phoenix 93 saying it's crazy because Ancelotti beat us in the Champions League final precisely due to our predictability.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
would hurt. But man said
And
he improvised
Ancelotti
tactics
always
ago.
gets the better of Klopp. Ancelotti always
Yeah.
does Klopp. Always. Even when he was at Everton, we struggled. Didn't they beat us? We drew.
They beat
Like,
us.
Do you
Bro,
think it's because Ancelotti cares less? Like his demeanor, like you know how we talk about Klopp. Yeah, I mean he doesn't.
Oh,
care.
I don't trust Ancelotti. I think
You think
Ancelotti,
Ancelotti's-
if you piss Ancelotti off,
Actually
you're
gets
not waking up the next day.
in,
I'm telling
and there's
you.
no
Yeah.
reaction.
you're gonna stick his head in your bed.
Didn't we interview him and he was away with the fairies looking at the ceiling and that?
Yeah,
like,
he
he
didn't give a
wasn't really
shit.
bothered before
No.
Klopp.
I wanted him.
was having
I
on
actually
Klopp.
wanted him before Klopp. I actually wanted him.
Crazy.
Same.
I
To this day,
I
I
saw
was
the,
just
I
like,
saw the track record. I said, I want.
yeah, brother. I was like, let me get another UCL quick time. Like,
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
struggling. He was struggling. I was like, I want success.
And you've already
now.
been
No
Chelsea.
project.
You already won the Prem. Come,
Yeah.
man.
I was
Come.
just like,
He wouldn't have
I
done
was
well
gonna
here,
change
though.
it.
I don't think he would have done well here because
Yeah.
Nah, they'd
he
gone
don't,
after
he doesn't
2
seem like
years.
someone who connects with anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like no, with anybody, man. Like the hierarchy, the fans. Like he seems like he's just there. He's cool.
Bro, he would have seen Joe Allen in
think the
midfield and
only
be like,
club-
what's this? Like, I'm not dealing with this, bro. Like,
The thing is,
like,
he would have been able to
only
attract
club
some
he has-
mad players, though. He would have been able
Yeah,
to attract some
The
mad
pool,
The only
players.
club he has
man.
that connection with, I agree with you, G. He never has that rapport with anyone, but I think the only club is Milan. Milan adore him.
Yeah.
He can go there when he wants.
Yeah,
you know
it's
what
true.
I mean?
because he won a
That's the
UCL as a
only
player
club.
and a
Madrid
manager.
have
Yeah,
that.
he's a
Manager,
player.
yeah.
I think Madrid
Do you
have
know
that
what,
affinity
though?
with him as well, you know, because
Yeah,
how
they
many
do a
times he's
little
been in
bit.
that club now? Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
He won La Decima as well. He won the 10th and the
Yeah.
4th and like the 13th. And bro, he's one better. Than
Yeah,
that.
we're
It's
talking
crazy.
about he doesn't have
It's crazy.
connections with the fans. You got to give him props for like being one of the only managers that wins every single
Yes.
place.
Oh,
that he
cool.
goes
No, I
to.
rate him highly.
Like
I rate him
Everton
highly.
didn't win anything. With
Yeah,
him,
apart from
man,
Everton.
like-
Apart from Everton.
Who's gonna win anything with Everton?
He
though?
does,
really,
though.
really.
He won a Merseyside
He
derby.
dipped-
That's a
he
victory
dipped
for
so
Everton.
quick, yeah.
That's a trophy for Everton.
He dipped so quick. Oh my god, that's funny.
we know saying, how do we rely on Robbo that is slowly declining? Get Simicas on.
I don't think Robbo's declining at all.
Yeah, I think that's a
He's
bit
not
right.
declining.
He's in bad
I
form,
think-
though.
And
He
he's got
needs
the
to be
evidence.
more
Back
willing.
to shooting.
Yeah,
Oh,
listen,
yes.
bring
Oh, Lord
bring
have
John Anarisa for just the 1 week, bro. Just
Yeah.
bring him for 1 week. Just say you two
Just training,
shooting
just
drills.
training.
It's not
Just-
even that.
shoot.
It's
No,
the
but not just
confidence
him.
to do.
Get Cater and Diaz with him
Yeah,
as well. They need
yeah.
an
Yeah,
extra
not
2 hours
Kater, not Kater.
after.
The Hammy's gone. The Hammy's gone. With
Yeah,
John
yeah,
Anarisa.
yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
Do you know? Do you know? Do you know?
Please,
Do you know with Naby Keita? Do you know what's weird about Naby Keita? Literally last season, he only missed 8 matches
I
for
was
injury.
just thinking that as well.
He was
That's
not
what
injured
worries
last
me
season.
more. That
And
worries
Klopp
me
didn't
more.
play.
He's
that
still,
we-
I'm sorry, he still wasn't good last season. People
played
say he was
40
good because he was
games.
available.
He
Yes,
played
he
40
is.
games.
He wasn't that
He
good.
only
He
missed
wasn't that
8
good last
games.
year.
Yeah,
He only
yeah.
played
Like
8
8
for
games,
injury.
bro.
Yeah.
I saw it today on Twitter. I
Wait,
see
so
that
where
on
was
that.
he the rest of the game?
He played
Bro,
40
in and
games
out,
last season.
in and out of the team,
He played
not
40
completing
games
90
last
minutes,
season.
getting hooked at 60
Mad.
minutes. Like, listen, I'm done. I'm so done with the Naby thing.
That's
It's
it.
unreal.
Dave, that
I'm
shit's
so
real.
done with it. I'm so done. The experiment is done. Like, listen, bro, just Bundesliga. Go.
You know
do
what I
it.
will
Get
say
rid of
though,
put that number 8 as well. Like,
Drip,
personal,
Do you
man.
know what I
back.
will say?
Yeah,
'Cause
that's what
I-
makes it hurt more.
Yeah, not you.
I've said this for the last couple of streams. Do not be surprised if he gets quite a few assists, him and Nunes, because his last year at Leipzig, right? When Werner kept making that run, Nunes is making a similar runs, and Naby has found him even in pre-season. Don't be surprised. I'm not saying he's going to have a good season, but we're going to see glimpses again. But I think we're going to see.
This is what we always get, those glimpses of Naby Keita.
I'm so
like
done with being. I'm so done with being invested.
I'm done with
yeah,
him as well. But I think Nunes could get a tune out of him. That's basically what I'm trying to say.
I'm not even like a big Naby out. I just don't care anymore. Like if you do your thing, cool. Otherwise, just be there in it. But I'm not gonna hang my hat on Naby. I've been hurt too many times, man. Too many times.
Naby is like having a one-legged stripper, ain't it? You know what I mean?
It's like,
you know, it tries to rub its stuff up on you, but it falls over all the time. Do you know what I mean? That is what Naby's like.
Let's be real. The only thing keeping Naby still is that little phrase, Naby lads.
Naby lads.
That's it.
That's it.
Naby lad in the corn adverts, and that's it.
Yeah. Oh my god, remember those? Oh my god.
And the Nivea ones, they're just green.
I don't know what peas Nivea paid us because those adverts are so off key. We've had the contract with them for a while. It's been something like since Sterling days.
Yeah, Gomez now. Even Gomez and Milner like the face of it now as well.
And you got Trent shaving when there's zero shit on there.
Zero, exactly. What?
Oh, even Ronaldo, they try to get Ronaldo, but he has no beard.
No beard whatsoever.
Well, man, they must be paying us some serious money.
Realism Jared saying, would you guys give Bruno at Man United a pass the way we do Trent because of goals and assists?
He ain't got no stats.
I'm not. Bruno's not a footballer, bro. I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, you can see Trent's a baller.
Bruno had a purple patch. Bruno Fernandes had a purple patch like Pape Cisse did when he came to Newcastle. And banged like 13 goals in 13 games.
Bro, even Cisse was scoring bangers though.
No,
I rate Cisse.
Mad.
And that's what Bruno Fernandes is.
You need to do a post on him.
He just had a purple patch. The man's got.
I've
always said it.
Alone.
Bruno Fernandes is. I've always said it. He's got a mentality like he thinks he's Maradona, but he's actually got the attributes of Danny Drinkwater. I've always said that. And that is Bruno Fernandes. He thinks he's something special. You see the way he straps around and he's like, you dog crap, mate.
I'm convinced if you like him, you don't like football because he's horrible to watch on the eye.
Where does he play?
Horrible.
Where does he play? He's not even a midfielder. I don't know where he plays. I don't know where he plays.
He's a false eight.
He's a false footballer.
False eight, yes. Yeah, I don't know.
You know how none of us rate him? How desperately we need a midfielder. We didn't even think about taking.
No.
I thought he was going to say
in that situation, I'll take Badgeting.
That's how much we don't rate him.
Oh,
bring me Ward-Prowse. I'll make something work with Ward-Prowse.
I'll make something work with Ward-Prowse too.
I'd take Jay Spearing over.
No.
Jay
Spearing looks like he's aged 20 years, bro. It's like
it looks like he's been.
Jokes
aside, sunbed,
he can be involved with the squad this year.
He's registered to play football.
No. When I read the 23 thing, I thought he was coaching for them. I didn't know.
No, he played.
That's embarrassing.
United have just done the same thing with Tom Huddleston. He's like a coach, but he's still eligible.
He can still play.
Tom Huddleston was at Liverpool. I'd have him in. I've had him.
Which Tom Huddleston are we talking about? The Spurs.
It doesn't matter.
Derby. I ain't taking the Derby because the legs were not there.
Nah.
The legs are not. But
take the whole one.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'll take the whole one.
The whole version.
Him and Rob have that little link up again.
I got the question for you guys. Yeah.
One.
It's a difficult one. Now, obviously, we're talking about midfielders and all of this, and even if we get the midfielder, they're not going to stay for the duration. Let's say Klopps leaving after this 2-year extension. Who's like, is that it for Liverpool? Like, is it Pep Yinders? Like, who's the manager? Like, is that where everything just goes to that shit? Sorry, I know.
I don't want to be negative, no, JJ, but
no, but it's an important discussion to have. Like, I had it on the space.
Liverpool.
It's properly important to bring it to
Ramsey's done.
Liverpool are going to struggle after Klopp. We're going to see a decline. We'll it's a
normal
struggle.
though. It's
Because
normal.
we talk about Klopp
but
talks
what's the
about this
decline, though?
dynasty.
But what's the
What?
decline going from like challenging for the league,
Challenging
to
for
get top
Champions
four?
League, that's what we're going to be doing.
Or you mean dipping below that and being where
No.
like United and Arsenal
I
are?
was gonna
I
say,
think our aim will be to challenge for Champions League, but I can genuinely see, and I don't want to be negative, I can see what happened at Arsenal. There's patches of it that are mirroring what's happening at Liverpool as well. Like Arsenal, Arsene Wenger, like he was the man. They had that glorious team that did everything. As soon as that team was gone, they started getting on Arsene Wenger's back. But that team's going to be gone for Liverpool, and the manager's going to be gone, because look at the age of the squad as well. Unless we start like building this dynasty that he was on about, and that's why Pep's going to come in. Pep is going to be the man after Klopp, and it's going to flop. I don't want it to, but
just to jump in,
the squad's in the all right position though, in terms of like the next crop. There's pieces there. There is pieces there. What worries me is that I know we won't invest. But yeah, go on, Rom. Sorry,
because I got a dip. I agree with Ash. I don't think he'll get that bad, but after you've been on a high of a world-class manager, there's gonna be that natural transition. But I don't feel we're gonna drop as low as one thing. But I do rate Klopp for. I feel that before he leaves, he's gonna leave us with something, whether it's I don't know, a system or personnel. I can actually see for once. We're screaming for it now. I can see maybe the summer before he leaves, because it's till 2026. Maybe he actually dips into the market and he actually buys players. Kind of, what I think Klopp will do before he leaves, he'll get some sort of inkling from the club who his successor is going to be. Then I think he's going to try and identify the profile of player, not necessarily for him, but for their next manager. And that's why I believe once Klopp leaves, we're not going to be challenging for the title and whatnot. But I feel like that first season without him, we'll just get the third or fourth place. I feel like he'll leave us with something, if that makes sense. He'll leave us with something, but that's my view on it. But who to come in? I don't want it to be Linda's, but I think it will be Linda's.
Do you know I want? So Klopp leaves in 4 years' time. I think we're looking at, ain't it? He's got 4 years left in his deal, ain't he?
Yeah.
Right, he's got 4 years left in the deal. And if anyone watches my channel, you know how much I love this guy. I'd get Graham Potter. And the reason is, I've watched his career. The man, if he didn't have a name called Potter and was Spanish or something else, doing what he's doing at Brighton,
if he didn't,
everyone would be raving about him. Everyone be raving about
I
him.
said this in a group chat the other day to these guys.
Guys, Jamie, sorry to interrupt. I know Roms has got to go.
Oh, Rom's got to go, ain't he? Go on.
Roms, thank you so much for hopping on, man. Where are you going to be on Saint Stream tomorrow?
Tomorrow we've got a preview in the afternoon, Palace preview. So yeah, that's the next show.
Guys, please make sure to check that out as well. Make sure to obviously follow Roms as well. Obviously, the app's in the thumbnail. It's in the description as well. You guys know it anyway, so please just following up on Twitter, Insta, all of that.
Jamie, Ish, Ash, G, Jerry, blessing, man. Every time. Big up all the
evening, bro. Enjoy your evening.
Enjoy night, mate.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, I love Graham Potter. I think it's quality. And you look what he's doing at Brighton, you know, and they play such good football. He doesn't have very good footballers there. Let's get real. He don't really have very good footballers there, but he's coached them so well. If you put Potter in charge of Liverpool in 4 years' time, he's improving as he's going as well, Potter, all the time. And you put that coaching to far better players, you know, and I think he could handle it as well. He doesn't come across a bloke who would take any shit either when you look at him. I think if you hear him talking that, he comes over really well. I'd seriously be looking at him if I was Liverpool right now, just keeping tabs on him in the background. But I do think we're building Pep Lijnders up a bit much, and I think, and you see everything about Liverpool at the moment. It's like Pep Lijnders is the manager at times.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
and Klopp sits in the background, you know, just like, and like,
it's a bit weird, man.
Klopp's a puppet master, ain't he? It's like Klopp's a puppet master, and.
But what I was going to say, Jamie, though, but I agree. But do you think FSG and do you think Liverpool fall into that same kind of thinking with Brendan Rodgers? Look how well he's coached Swansea. Look what they did. And yeah, we were at a different level, but look how the football they played.
I think
he developed Joe Allen into this, in the Welsh, all of this type of thing, and he's come
Potter's
in.
Football brains.
I think Potter's a better coach. I don't think I don't think Rodgers could do at Brighton what Potter's doing with the players he's got. I think Potter's a far better coach. Rodgers,
but then it is difficult because at the time, Rodgers was a step up from what we had anyway. Do you know what I mean? But Klopp's leaving. That's a massive gamble getting an unproven manager to come in. If Klopp, like in the last season, finished say 6th or something, then Graham Potter's a no-brainer in it because he'll get us ticking over again. But I think
there's no step up from Klopp, though.
There is no step up. You only step up.
That's it. But we need that's. Will we need someone like I don't know, Hansi Flick, or I mentioned Luis Enrique, just people who have actually been there and done that.
Yeah.
But do you want people problem with Lewis? I think we want someone who's going to come in the club and give us stability and be here for a few years.
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to say everyone's going about Stevie this, Stevie that, right? If you get Stevie in 4 years' time, is he actually going to be a better coach in 4 years' time than Graham Potter is right now?
No.
I don't even think.
I'm starting to have serious doubts about Joe.
I don't even think. I think Stevie's a dead manager. I'm saying it now. I don't think he's.
Stevie's gonna be the first one to get the sack.
I don't think he.
I reckon Brendan.
I think Stevie's too old school. I think that's the problem, and I think the problem with Stevie as well. He's coaching players that are nowhere near as good as him. And I think that's what holds him back at Villa.
Even Carragher said that. Carragher and Oswald, not even the greatest player ever. He's like, I couldn't coach because I would get frustrated with players not even ability, just not even giving a shit as much as I do. He's got players like Tyrone Mings. He's just taking the armband off. He's probably looking at Mings being like, with the armband.
Did you hear what he said about Tyrone Mings afterwards?
No. What did he even say about it?
He went to 10 on him.
Until he looks me in the eye, then I can give it. I was like, looks me in the eye. This isn't Game of Thrones. Like, you don't need to be so damn harsh. Like,
yeah, for me, that's not how I really want people to be moving at Liverpool.
It's
like,
true.
yeah.
But hold on.
And by the way, I love Stevie to death. I just, you know,
Yeah.
Alan Shearer is a Newcastle legend. He's a dead manager. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, he's the worst.
So
He got relegated.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I love Stevie to death. I just don't think he could be manager. I just think it's a pipe dream because he's our second greatest ever player behind Kenny.
It'd be too much.
You know,
It'd be too much. It even looked like sometimes being a player was like weighed down him so much. Man, being a manager, he'd have to win a title to make up for the shit. Like, it's too much, man.
It's one thing having the motivation in it. Like, he's got the drive, he's got the motivation, he's got the passion, but you've got to have a brain to be a manager. I'm not saying Stevie's thick. Stevie, I'm not saying you're thick, by the way. I'm not saying it.
Yeah, get that.
But
Get
that's
that in
it. He's just he's not got the tactics, he's not got the knowledge. And I think everyone who's been an ex-player, I can't think of anyone now, quote me if I'm wrong, I don't think without that tutelage under a real coach, like I think Arteta's doing it the right way. If you've not had tutelage under the right coach, it's just a crash course, and you're never going to be the best if you've had a crash course in management.
Because they've all been fast tracked. They all got a job too soon than they actually were ready for being real. Yeah, but
How many world-class managers in the history of football have actually been world-class managers? Like players to manager.
Zidane.
So world-class players to world-class.
I wouldn't even say Zidane's a world-class manager. I think just
Ancelotti was a top-class player, by the way, as well.
Would you have called Pep Guardiola world-class when he was playing? I would.
Nah.
Yeah, I didn't think he was.
No. He was good, but he weren't like he was.
Pep turned Busquets. He gave Busquets his brain, but used Busquets' natural ability to turn Busquets into what he could have been if he had the physical ability. Like, that's what he did.
You don't think Rodri can get to Busquets levels?
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, I think he can.
I don't think he's far away.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say as well. He's looking mad. Since
me and G were talking about the. I know it's only one game, but it's the West Ham game, and the way they defended with two at the back and Rodri just doing everything but just dictating.
He was taking Declan Russell a walk. It was mad. Like
slides into the edge of the box, and that's what you could do.
Rice could get near.
Do you know what Rodri does? Rodri does what Alisson does in goal. He makes everything look so easy. Positional wise, he doesn't look like he's breaking a sweat. Doesn't look like he's got to make a sprint. Last ditch tackle. It's just so easy.
I think Javi will try snap him up. You know, I can see in a couple.
Javi won't go. Do you think he'll go?
Javi will see that.
What country is Rodri from? Spanish, isn't it?
Spanish, yeah. He will see that, and he's gonna try and like do the whole La Masia thing. Obviously, I can see it already with Javi in it. Like He's got Pedri, he's got Gavi there now. I mean,
Pedri, Gavi, Rodri midfield.
That's
what I'm saying. It makes sense to me.
Yeah,
if I was Gavi, I know
it's all over again.
that'd be my plan.
That's a bad one.
Yeah, right, guys. I'm gonna read some of the comments, and I think that will be it because it's been a long stream. But
you know what? You've actually got me thinking about a world-class player to a world-class manager. I honestly can't think. Ancelotti is probably the only.
I say Zidane just because of the trophies, but I'm not as a tactician. But I think to win,
I don't think it's good. I think
to win
going to Real Madrid because of the kind of the clout and the presence he's got. It was easy for these players to
handle the.
Did he hear Deschamps?
In a way,
I know.
Johan
Cruyff is probably the one.
Yeah, Johan Cruyff.
Okay, Johan Cruyff is probably the one.
Yeah.
But there ain't many. That's what I'm saying. You think it's it's more of the dead players or managers that weren't even players seem to be the best managers around. You know.
Just
quickly though, Ash, do you rate Deschamps as a manager? Because I just think he's got a mad French team.
Yeah, I don't rate it.
Yeah, that's true.
The system's just very like they set up quite well, and that's it.
But you can't not say someone's. You have to be classed as a world-class manager if you get a World Cup. Like,
but do you know where it is though? But tournament football.
This is how you know there's none at the moment.
Yeah, big up quad, man. But tournament football is completely different to leagues though, because with tournament football, if you set up well in the defense and just play, we're going to play counter attack. You've seen it. Teams can go and win like that. The only manager really that I've gone and seen and I thought, you know what, it's been completely different where the defense hasn't been that great. They've just kept the ball so well. They might have had names, but it's Vicente Del Bosque, the Spanish team. Because the way they played was just like Barca, but 2.0.
That team was
all the best Spanish players, of course. But the way they kept the ball was a joke. But the rest of these teams, like even when France won it, like recently, really solid defensively and just had blitzing pace on the counter.
Do you think with international football now there's an elite side anymore? You know, back in the day when you was a kid, there's always
France's talent pool is elite.
There was always that Brazilian side, weren't there? Then there was that Spanish side. Now I look at the international sides and I think anyone could win the World Cup.
I don't get excited for international. I don't get excited for World Cups anymore.
I just want Argentina to win the World Cup so we can just give Messi.
The only thing I say is that France got mad depth.
I really want Messi to win the World Cup.
I agree.
The French depth's mad, ain't it?
It's mad. You've got Camavinga and them man playing under 21s. Like that is England had Camavinga. Bro, he'll be holding an armband. It's crazy. It's so crazy. Ibu and flipping.
But Camavinga would have to play with Calvin Phillips, wouldn't
he? Yeah.
I think it was as well. Is that when back in the day as well? I think the further you go back, I think the world's less globalized. So we never got to see these players so much. So when you were coming in, the only time you get to go and see those Brazilian players. I mean, even like Ronaldinho when he first came out, like watching League wasn't easy. Do you know what I mean? To see what Ronaldinho was doing or watching what it weren't easy. So when you saw these players, like, oh my God, what are these guys doing? Now it's so globalized that people are watching the Brazilian league. I know there's talks. I saw it on Tifo where they're trying to the Brazilian league's trying to go and sell their rights to Sky, to BT and stuff. So soon we're gonna have that. And that's just gonna be but that's just going to be a thing where even with like Neymar, when Neymar popped out or Lucas Moura at the time, it was like, what are these players? Now you're going to be like, oh yeah, I've seen that player. Like that is, it just becomes normal.
It becomes normalized, doesn't it?
Yeah, facts. 100%, man. Ravi saying, I can imagine Ish doing a Nivea advert, shaving hair on the face.
I need to do a Nivea advert right now. Like I need to be in one big time.
That's mad.
I'll rather a Gillette advert.
We know
Raheem Sterling in that.
Raheem Sterling. That advert's actually so cringy, man. Like,
no one does it like Thierry Henry, Roger Federer. Who was the other one that was
Tiger
with
Woods.
them? Tiger Woods in it.
That advert is goated, but you will never defeat that. Never ever defeat that.
Natural.
Yeah, we know saying if we decline, that's us saying that our team is actually shit. It means the organization of the club is. It means the structure of the club is, because we shouldn't, in the position we are, even if Klopp goes, our decline shouldn't be us challenging or being for top four or ending up fifth. Yeah. It should be we drop off to third or fourth is comfortable.
Jerry, let me ask you now, Jerry, what do you think Liverpool actually have in place for when Klopp goes, apart from Kanate, Nunes. We're not even sure if Elliott is going to be that guy. Trent, maybe. What's in place? Because you look at Man City, their youth teams are winning season in, season out.
Yeah,
Like, they're dominating under 23s, under 18s. They've got community projects. Like Manchester's rejuvenated. They're getting all the young talent. What are Liverpool actually doing around the city in terms of youth teams? What's going on?
The youth, I think it's just it's the Excel sheet in it with the list of players and Julian Ward,
which is why I'm so desperate.
The Boston Red Sox method.
Yeah, but that is the system. It's just the Excel sheet with loads of players, and it's the structure that is like, you know what, we'll get it if we use this process and we keep repeating it. We're going to be able to compete. Like,
but with these elite managers, though, right? You always have a drop off. Any elite manager leaves a club, you have a drop off. I can tell you right now, if Pep Guardiola weren't manager of Man City right now, they don't win the league this season.
No,
because I think Pep gives them that extra 15% more than any other manager who would be in charge. You know, Arsenal had you gotta have them drop offs. It's just but it's how you.
But do you know what it is?
Liverpool go
how far as well, though.
But it's how far you drop
to finish 8th,
and then you got to just keep. You got to Liverpool go expect a little drop because Klopp's leaving, so the club's got to make sure they don't drop off too much, keep competing, and just keep building up again. So that's why, even though he's got 4 years left to go, you got to start looking now.
But
you have to start doing your work.
But when Pep left, who was manager at Barca after that? Was it Valerie?
It was his number 2, wasn't it? It was his number 2.
Villanova?
Yeah. He's number 2.
They still won the league, though, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, it's Pep's team still, weren't it? Yeah.
No, but that's my point. And then
Man City will still win the league, though. Like, look what Man City have been doing, Mancini.
That's my point. And then after that, obviously Barca, they still won the league after that. Then they had obviously Luis Enrique, and we know what that team went on to do. So what I'm talking about, that drop, that's the type of drop off I want to see. I don't want to go.
But the leagues are different. But the problem is the leagues are different. You know, the leagues are different.
We're so far away from these teams. Is it really?
No, or the Premier League. In the Premier League, you know, in the Premier League, there's a lot of very good teams in the Premier League, not in Spain. You know, you've got 3 teams in Spain. That's it. The 2 Madrid teams of Barcelona. You know, in this country, I think you have far more competitive teams in this country fighting for positions. You know, you can, like Man City, not long ago, lost away to Norwich City, who were bottom of the league. You know, it does happen in our league, and it's very unlikely to happen in Spain. You know, like when Kai Havertz came to Chelsea in his first season, he said he was shocked because in Germany, you know, you can play at a certain level without being your best, but win comfortably. And like he said, in England, if you don't play at 100% every game, you lose. There is, I think there is more of a competitive difference in the leagues per se. But then Barcelona and Real Madrid are super corrupt, so they get everything their own way anyway. So.
Yeah. When you got
if
Messi,
you look at it as well,
you're really going to drop off. You're not really going to drop off anyway.
Look at it from this point. Arsenal are on the rise. Tottenham are on the rise. United aren't going to stay. Arsenal. United aren't going to stay down there forever. Like we've got teams now.
I don't know. Have you seen that United squad? Actually,
I know you support United, but they are finished.
Whoa! Listen, if they get Arnautovic, problem solved. Like they're gonna challenge top 4 if they get Arnautovic. You know what I mean?
It's bad. That squad, that bad. That squad is bad.
Jody P saying, us getting my Nunes this year is a sign we won't just fall off. There's a huge commitment by the club. Otherwise, we would have got Scamacca and to deal with it.
I don't agree with that in the slightest.
I wouldn't say it was a huge commitment. There's commitment is not huge. I think we did the bare minimum, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. Because we would have kicked up a fuss if we didn't sign a record signing and let Sadio Mane go.
Well,
wow.
I think the club knew Mane.
And Minamino and
the Origi and that leaving don't bother me because they didn't play.
But it's more the sense of that last season was the first season
rotation,
where we've got depth. Like, we've actually got depth. Like, we were all like,
but Minamino started 2 Premier League games in 12 months. I mean, you know, it's just,
the 2 cups.
But you can rest players in
when people spoke about Minamino, I was like, did he even play? Like, I don't even remember.
But when Mane
won us both cups, essentially.
Both cups.
Yeah.
You're using the word "won." Did he win us these cups?
He didn't play either final, by the way.
Exactly.
Yeah,
no final.
We didn't score any goals in the final, so we should have.
By the way,
do you know what I mean?
That just shows, like, but I don't know. It's just with the Mane thing, I don't think that we will miss Mane this season at all. I really don't.
I think we'll miss how clutch he was.
I think Mane.
We forget how clutch he was.
Personally, I think Mane had 6 good months in 2 years, and I'm not even.
No, I agree.
You know what, Jamie?
But Jamie,
I'm gonna back you because
I agree. I agree.
No.
He's right. But do you know what we're
going
gonna miss though? Do you know what we're gonna miss? How clutch he was, because in the big games he will always do something. He might
defensive
be
contribution as well.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Defensive contribution, like he was unbelievable.
I think Tjjs is good
defensively.
I think Tjjs is doing that well as well.
Yeah, he's leading
the
press well.
I think there's a massive difference to what Mane gives us than what Tjjs gives us.
Yeah, but it ain't Tjjs to give us the Mane thing. It's Darwin Núñez. If Darwin Núñez scores us 15 Premier League goals and Tjjs is doing his thing, then we haven't missed Mane.
No, that's true. That's true. 100%.
Will Tjjs do his thing though? That's the only thing I'm a bit at the moment. I'm not.
If Tjjs,
I don't know. I
think Tjjs is more of a playmaking winger than what Mane was. Tjjs is a proper winger.
Do you not think it's crazy how last season, the end of last season, we're all like, Tjjs is the future. And then after a few games, a bit of pre-season, we're all like...
Okay, we need to start using this terminology.
The royal we. The royal we. The royal
right, G is then. You are G.
I've always said 100%. I've been the only
100%.
person to go against Tjjs. From the minute he came till now, I don't look at Tjjs at all in any way.
Then, are you doubting Tjjs a little bit?
I'm 100%.
You know what it was? I said give him the summer. Let him just because, bro, he got 16 goals at Porto last season before he left.
Tjjs played
I'm seeing the same.
games.
I'm not really seeing much improvement so far. But
yeah, this is
I'll
what
give
I'm
him
saying.
time. But at the same time, Ash, if I told you right now Tjjs will get you 6 league goals, will you be that surprised? Not really.
I think Tjjs gets 10 Premier League goals. And I think he gets
10s.
I wouldn't bet on it.
10's a decent.
I wouldn't bet on it.
I think he's very capable. I think his goals will come the more Darwin Núñez plays, because I noticed it straight away. Yeah. He can't play with Bobby in the same team because they do the same job.
Yeah.
And they both come deep at the same time. They both press the ball at the same time. I think Salah and Tjjs get goals and assists with Darwin Núñez playing up front. I really do.
Hope so. Quadruple FC saying big up Jerry. By the way, solid panel today with a good balance, and the equalizer is truly the equalizer. Great.
Yes, he is.
Love that.
We got Jack as well, who popped in just at the end as well, saying great show. Massive thank you for having me on. Listen, appreciate you joining us as well. Let's just try and run through some of these comments before we head out. Hold on, Jared saying, let's be real, we don't need more players. Does Klopp really rotate, or is forced to change because of Reds? That's a very, very good point.
That's a good point.
Let's not get into it because we'll be here for another 4 hours.
We'll be here. Very good point.
John Paqueta, big up John as well, saying Mane would have been the match winner in that Fulham game. When push comes to shove, Mane would come about
that. I think we would have won that game, but they gave away the penalty.
I think Mane would have got an early goal in the Fulham game. I don't think it would have been the match winner.
I don't know. We weren't even getting a ball.
We weren't even getting the ball.
We weren't getting the ball. Salah did not touch the ball hardly.
We were poor in that week. Is that the worst you've seen Liverpool for the last 2-3 seasons?
One of
longer, probably longer. You know
that in the Champions League.
That and the Leicester game, Christmas away.
I don't know, man. That injury hit season, we were playing some real crappy football, boy.
Do you think I count that season? Do you think I even?
Guys, we can't do this. We can't.
What happened that season?
I'm rewriting history, bro.
We lost 7-2, guys. We lost 7-2.
I don't know what team we're talking about.
We need to remember this. We need to feel that.
I must have been asleep when that happened. I don't remember
what happened, bro. I was in a coma or something. I didn't know. 7. My team holding 7. Nah. I don't think so.
Do you know what's funny about that though? I laughed my head off earlier in the day when Tottenham beat
Man United. Yeah.
I was laughing my head off. And all that, and then we lost 7-2, and I was like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, Mohammed Khalid saying, can we get Ward to Catalonia to buy the La Masia Academy of Barcelona? That'd be interesting. That'd be decent.
I'll tell you a video you need to do, Jerry. Greatest academy of all time. Ajax or Barcelona.
Well, we could do that. We could do that.
Yeah, very decent.
Me and Jamie, we can get you one. But But guys, oh, I don't know. Think of Ajax, Seydorf.
I was about to say,
Think of the 70s.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
It's madness.
Right. Oh, I don't
And then
know.
they have all
Man.
like Seydorf and your Chloe
Rudolph.
Kluivert and
Kluivert.
and that, yeah.
Yeah,
Bro,
man,
that 95 team that won the champ.
Yeah,
They
man.
got
Seydorf was like one of the
Van der Sar,
youngest
bro.
players.
Underrated.
Yeah, mad.
Seydorf's
All
underrated.
positions as well. Yeah, I hear it. I hear it.
Seydorf's underrated. But guys, it's been an amazing show. It's gone on longer than I thought, but it means that we're doing something well. Obviously, credit to everyone in the chat as well. So much appreciated. And then obviously G, Ash, Ish, Jamie, and obviously as well as O and everyone else that's been in the show. Thank you so much for hopping on, man, because I think it was something to be discussed. I think we've showed that we can have a discussion with this whole divide thing in a peaceful way, as opposed to what is on social media, where you get heckles of abuse and it turns into something that it's not. Because I know for a fact there's been plenty of times now, and you guys have seen in the show, where G doesn't agree with me, or I don't agree with G, or G don't agree with Jamie. But you've seen that we've done it we've had the cordial discussion. I think that was important to show, because it's a truer representation of what Liverpool is, as opposed to what you see on social media and different spaces and stuff. Before obviously we head out, G, where can the people find you, man?
TikTok, Instagram, Twitter.
I thought you were going to sing then, man.
You don't want to hear me sing, trust me.
Come on, G. Sing us out. Sing us out of the show, G.
I'm going to save it for like my birthday. When my birthday, I'll save it.
Do the You'll Never Walk Alone.
Ash, the R&B version.
I need to get, the clip of the what's it called, the space where the guy was singing "You'll Never Walk Alone."
Yeah,
I need to get that to play at the end of every show.
You need to.
He wasn't even saying "you," he was saying "you will never." I was just like, bro, this is mad. I was
Ash, where can the people find you, man?
Oh man, find me on Ash Wilding. Find me on Klopps Zone. Jumping on the Jerry James show. Just go over to Klopps Zone, because this season we're going to bring everything. We've just got some new admins today, so there's going to be so much more going on. So get over there. Let's do this.
Look at this comment.
He only sings at funerals.
Yeah,
he's got that face where he's got that baggy black suit, and he's just
yeah.
They call me Barry White, but hey,
by Celine Dion.
Oh, bro, I said Barry White. It's more like Barry from EastEnders, bro. Like,
hey,
we're gonna do it anyway.
Don't touch my
Barry.
The disrespect from me. The disrespect
from me. That's Winston from EastEnders, Jack pulls up that little
Winston. Barry's going back in time there. Winston, Jesus. With that little bit on his head, that little bit of area.
Thank you, John. Thank you, John. Barry G. Come on, man. They don't know. They don't know.
Ish, where can the people find you, man?
Oh man! First of all, just big up for having me on, man. This great show, great 2.5 hours just flew by. Big up everyone. But yeah, the equalizer __. That's where you find me. Instagram captions and that. And then
best captions in the game.
I can't say it, but if you guys want to say that, then yeah. But yeah, new home this season as well. Klopps Zone, Saint NFC TV as well. Jerry James show as well. Guys, if you tune in at any point, just make sure you're slapping a like for Jerry, because yeah, this was a big show. It's gonna be a big season for you as well. Jamie Phillips show is. Listen, everyone's just doing their thing in it. Everyone's doing their thing. Everyone's sick, but yeah, big up everyone.
Man. And Jamie, where can the people find the goat? That is, I mean.
I'm more like a donkey, I think, but but yeah, cheers, my man. This is, I've got to say, it's the most fun I've had on a show in quite some time. So be out yourself, Jerry. You're doing great things over here, man. You're going to succeed, no problems. So Jamie Phillips Football Chat Guides is where you can come and find me on the way to 3K, about 500 off now. So yeah, it's all going well. It's been a good 12 months. But yeah, my videos will slow down a little bit from Monday onwards, because my daughter's having neck fusion surgery, so she's going to be in hospital for 6 weeks.
Hope that goes well, man.
Cheers.
Yeah.
So she's going to be in hospital for 6 weeks. So
have you got any shows or any schedule popping up so that people can check?
So yeah, I've got a couple of videos tomorrow. Liverpool Palace preview and then a whole Premier League preview as well. So there'll be sometime when I could be bothered to put a time on them. But yeah, they'll be on sometime tomorrow. But when everything gets back to normal on the channel, guys, I've got to get you all on, have a good show and all that. It's
100%.
it's been great. It's been great. I love adult conversations about football where you don't have to swear at each other. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what it is, man. And I think, obviously, before we had it, I think this is the best, obviously, comment to leave on. So big up Phoenix. Just essentially stating, look, Twitter exists on a vacuum, guys. So please do ignore. I've been seeing the interactions and the coded language from certain fans. Great panel, great people. Thanks for taking the time. Listen, we appreciate it so much because it means that, I mean, although this is like, I mean, this is good for us. It means that we're providing things for you and you're enjoying it. So thank you so much. Obviously, guys, it's been the Jerry James Show, as always. Please smash a like, share with your mom, your dad, your auntie, your sister, your uncle. Please leave a comment and stay blessed. The Jerry James Show, out, people.
Peace.